all right. You know what day it is. Time for Monday night live in the Counselor's Corner, another open court discussion. I am your host, David Lorenzo Glover, aka the Controversial Counselor. Joining me is the big bad wolf, Herb Lewis.
Gonna be a little salty tonight, people.
I'm not sure who will be joining the panel because our summer schedule was hit or miss with numerous interviews and several Mondays with no broadcast. But recap from this past Monday show, we had the great debate between Igor and Sir Tice discussing racism. If you did not hear, based on public views on Facebook, TikTok, IG, and YouTube, we had a split decision draw. Can't make this shit up. I was like calculating this like no way possible. 497 views apiece. So just maybe we will be having the great debate too. Stay tuned. Well, let's get down to business for tonight. We will be discussing October 2nd tonight at 9 p.m. The topic of discussion will be our unrealistic standards and expectations killing relationships. Yeah, I can say yeah. I can say yeah. But we'll go further and a little deeper. Let's look at three possible unrealistic expectations. The I come first mentality. How the hell you can just determine you come first without pretty much knowing your personnel, maybe knowing what other people mean to this individual. But some people have that, like, no matter what, I'm in a relationship, I need to come first. So might be setting yourself up with that. No fighting or arguments. Everybody talk about having their peace and not arguing or fighting. And I'm not talking about physical, but you be damn sure any couple that's been together and been together for a while, they done had some brawl, beat down probably arguments over the years that once that happens and once you get that out of your system and you get an understanding, everything is fine. So to have an expectation to think that it's not going to be any arguments, it's not going to be any going back and forth, I don't know, one of y'all must be a vegetable or a mute or something, because that shit going to happen. And then, or the mindset of you having no need for anyone else. Long as I got you, baby, I don't need no one else. I don't need no friends. I don't need my family. I don't need nobody. Damn, the pressure of someone having to deal with someone who really cut off the world because they have you, that shit kind of scary to me. Okay, so that's just a little bit something to marinate in your head, and of course, there's so many more expectations and standards that people have that's unrealistic. This should be an interesting topic to kick off the month of October. If this subject is for you, join the panel tonight. You can reach out to me in my inbox or Herb, and or come in the chat, ask for the link. I'll send it to you. Please like and share this video and continue to let others know about the YouTube channel, The Controversial Counselor. Right now we're sitting at about 741 subs. Let's go, folks. I need to hit 750, then we can focus on 800. But here we are tonight. It's been a minute. Like I said earlier, that we've been having, some interviews and the great debate and just trying to mix it up and shake things up. But we're back for our regular platform and ready to kind of chop it up. It's been a while. If you're tuning in, give us a shout out, say hi, say something, and we gonna have at it. So, I'd like to start off with any housekeeping news. Herb, what's going on? Anything new? Good, bad? Indifferent,
As I was saying
frustrating.
earlier, well, I'll deal with the frustrating in a moment. The garage project that I have been working on for it seems like an eternity is nearing its completion. Uh Parents, specifically those of young teenage girls. I'm giving you a public service announcement. If you wish to throw a hotel party for your kids, here's a couple things that you need to bear in mind. The hotel does not govern who your kids let into that room. So if your kids get into any trouble, don't call the front desk and ask what we are doing to mitigate the problems. The same way you wouldn't call the police to stop something from going on in your home, it's the same way your kids need to handle what's going on in that hotel room. And if they can't, and they cause too much of a commotion to the hotel, we gonna have their asses removed, and you will lose the money. We don't care. Okay, that's a public service announcement. So keep your unruly, badass kids at home if you're not gonna chaperone them. Don't leave that up to the hotel because we're gonna handle it one way. And I think that's pretty much it in terms of housekeeping and trying to get shit off my chest. I feel like I'm exercising sometimes when I go to work, and I hate that.
All right, for me, same old thing. We really haven't had a chance to, like I said, chop it up because the platforms we've been having. Somebody said nobody should be giving this new generation parties at hotels. They are not prepared. Yeah, I agree. This is a different breed, and I find that out every day. So it's damn time fly by. We done like went through 5 weeks of school already. Finally got into the classrooms. I have sixth graders this year, so it's like, yeah, yeah. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be an interesting year. I can say the least. So I just think about like the guidance lessons talk about and some of the things that be on their mind. So I know I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have some work. I'm gonna have some work to do because the last sixth grade I had we rotate every year. We go up with the kids. So the last sixth grader I had was on the pandemic. So those kids when they by the time I really got to know them, most of them they were in their seventh grade year, so it was just chaos, and then it led to chaos in the eighth grade year. So this one I got some time to kind of hone them in, give them a little home training, and get them prepared. But it's going to be a challenge to these kids. They just too much stimuli, too much activity. And one of the things that I'm gonna say, then we can move on to the subject. We do an open ritual, and you ask. I had like some colors, and I said pick your colors, and many of them, great deal of them was like, psh, like I don't want to be here. Um, like I'm here, but I don't want to be here. They not. They not. A lot of them not checking for the school thing, the way things are set up, and the times that they say they go to bed. Like I told them, I said for a sixth grader, she probably should be in bed around 9. They're like 9. The times they were throwing out 11, 12, 1 o'clock, and then I said, you wonder why you come in here with a piss pot attitude with your peers and administrators, counselors sometime. But many of them, I kept hearing that reoccurring theme as I had these guidance lessons, school counseling lessons in these classrooms. Many of the kids, when I check in with them, they was like, I don't want to be here. I'm tired. So it's a dilemma. It's a dilemma, but many people probably sweep it under the rugs, whatever. But I always say, got to change that shit up. Got to change it up. You got to do something different. This is a different generation. You just can't sit there and talk and lecture and read and do whatever. You got to make this shit engaging. You got to connect it to their lives. And other than that, you're going to lose them, man. Then that's when the different behaviors kick in. Somebody said these children are not being parented, only raised. It's true. It's true. So it's just a lot of different stuff going on. So that's that. It's gonna be it's gonna be a year. It's gonna be a challenging year. What else is new? What else is new? Mm, nah, I can't even. I don't have nothing else. Something else might come up throughout the broadcast, but this particular subject matter can kind of tie in not only with relationships, just period. Like people having expectations and certain standards, but a lot of that stuff has to be based on your personnel that you're with. You may have a standard, you may have something, but you better know what their beliefs or what their standards are. And I guess to answer the question, is it killing us? Yeah, because some people are still basing that they're basing their appearance or their status quo when they were in their 20s to now when you're in your 50s. And I know people say, oh, you should not settle, you should not change the game, but things change. And, we always compare a lot of things to sports. Um, Not everybody is going to be like a LeBron James that's damn near 40 that could still command 30, 40 million a year. Most players or something like that near 40, they're getting the minimum salary. They're getting the minimum salary. And unless you elevated your game as you get older, your standards may have to change a little bit. You may have to carve something off or take something off to say, okay, I'll take this. Maybe back in the days you were freaking 10 and a half, fine as shit. And now, you put on weight, put on pounds. I don't know if you could say, man, I don't like no fat ass man or whatever the case is. When your ass just as big as he is. Like we have to be realistic and think about like, yeah, maybe I need to downscale it. Other than that, but in the counselor's corner and also other places, you hear people, "Oh, I'm good by myself. I'm all right being alone, whatever." What the fuck ever. Go ahead, Herb.
One of the things I had written down here was truth, and a lot of us, regardless of our gender, we need to get comfortable with the truth. Currently, as I sit here, I weigh 278 pounds, right? Which I keep that number in mind. I'm 51. I'm on a weight loss journey. I'm chronicling that, writing some stuff down, and I'll probably get into more detail on my personal Facebook page. So, probably by the end of this week, I'll have everything compiled at least for the 2 weeks. So you can drop in there and see what I've been doing. I've always said that I would never date a woman that came within 20 pounds of what I weigh. Now, you're doing the math, that's 250 pounds. That's going to be a big woman. I'm still not doing it. Why? Because I set that standard. Why can I set that standard? Because I'm capable of attracting women that are physically in shape. Because I'm going to, at the end of this weight loss journey, be physically in shape. So I'll be back down to probably 210, 220 pounds, which is more my natural weight given my size and things of that nature. But honestly, we need to, especially as we age, we don't move as fast. And like David said, we put on some weight, and we don't look nearly as good as we used to. I'm willing to venture that if we took a look at our senior pictures and compared them to what we look like now, we probably say we look better when we were younger. And that most definitely holds true for most women, because most women at that particular time hadn't had kids, hadn't gained weight, none of that stuff. So you're at your physical prime in terms of your physical appearance. We're not talking about money. We're not talking about status. Just the way you look, because as most people realize and understand, that that is the first draw for most men. It's not until we get past that that we start to see some things that emerge that just say, you know what? No, I'm not going to be able to do. And that same thing holds true for most women. Most women are going to bypass a guy that she sees nothing going with unless she's just trying to use him. And both genders are out here using both genders, so nobody has the market cornered on that per se. Now, who gets more? That's going to depend on the individual. I'm not here to parse that out, and I don't think David is either. So, with that being said, be truthful with yourself, and also, we'll get into some more things later. Have an agenda. If you want to date for food, date for food. Make that known, though. Don't be out here trying to pull the wool over somebody's eyes, talking about, oh, he wasn't my type. There wasn't no vibe. It didn't matter if there was no vibe. You was going out because you knew where this guy was going to take you at. He told you what he was going to do. He told you he was going to pick you up or he's going to send you an Uber. And you were like, oh, yeah, I get to put on something nice. I get to go out and eat on this dime. And I ain't got to worry about nothing because I ain't giving nothing up. That's cool. Be that way. I'm not going to judge you. Now, the individual that you're going out with might. But hey, what do you care? This is a one and done anyway. You like you like a a 5A star player coming in D1 power conference. You only there for the look at the NBA, then you go on. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But be upfront, be honest. Like I said, deal with the truth. Don't be like that kid that got the stick and the knapsack talking about you running away from home. And then when you get out on the street and you find out how difficult it is, you want to come back home. Because a lot of those doors, they're going to be closed and you're not going to be able to walk back through them.
It was a comment up here. It said, "What do you think about Tyler's comment about women accepting love and maybe just the light bill?" I don't even think I really paid it no attention or never got into it because it was in the heat of the first few weeks of school. So I just skimmed through stuff. So maybe Herb, you can address that.
Simply put, what Tyler Perry is saying is that women, y'all going to have to pay what society is putting you in a position to do. Women wanted to work and make the type of money that men do, well, you have to work and do the type of things that men used to do. So if that means you got to come up with this lion's share of home, auto, whatever the case is, that's the role that society's prepared you for. That's the role that you accepted when you stepped in there, where women embrace um, the women's movement or equality or feminism, however you want to brand it, name it. This is what it entails. So people are saying that it's not fair. Well, we women, we don't want that. Well, you know what? Go back to being a housewife. Go back to giving up that college degree. Go back to earning six figures. Go back to not earning six figures. All that's fair game now. You decided to take what was in the bag, shake it up, and whatever you come out with is what you get. So I have absolutely no problem with Tyler Perry saying that. Now, some women might say, oh, he's one of those 50-50 dudes. No, actually, no. I pay all the costs to here. And if I happen to get with a female, her and I will decide what costs we share. But that's none of nobody's business. And so if I do 50-50, that's because I can command 50-50.
Yeah, that 50-50 thing. I mean, I guess when you look at it, if someone makes more, and you call yourself splitting stuff down the middle, that person makes more, he's going to end up paying more. It really is never, it's never going to be 50-50. When other shit jump off or whatever the case is, they're going to end up putting more into it or whatever the case is because you may not have it. So I think people need to stop listening to all the shit that be out there and what people say and deal within your household and stop telling everybody what the hell goes on with that shit. I don't know how people could be sitting around talking about with other people, with friends, girlfriends, or your homeboys, what is paid and what is not, whatever. Like that shit, there's so much other shit to talk about. If if you got somebody that's constantly grilling you about that, you already know what their motive is to put your shit out there.
Yep.
So stop feeding into that, and you won't even have these narratives that put out there. But y'all just gotta run y'all fucking mouths all the time, or and not just women. Like I told my sixth graders today, one of the last things I was talking about being successful in middle school, it was like avoid drama. And I said, typically, years ago, this would be something I would be saying to girls with all y'all different friendships or talking to this person don't like that person. Now they mad at you and they getting you caught up in everything. I said, shit, it's 50-50 now. I said, y'all, these boys and the boys, and they agreed. I said, y'all got drama. Y'all got as much drama as these girls nowadays. And shit, all they could do, they could even dispute it. But, and I think it's the case even with men. So just got to keep people out your shit, basically.
That's crazy to me. I mean, I see women comment to that extent, and I'm just thinking, what drama are men bringing to a relationship? Just such a thing didn't exist for me. Like I don't do arguing. I'm gonna make a statement. That's pretty much it. And then just so people can understand, when I say I make a statement, I'm not talking about something that needs to be discussed. If something needs to be discussed, we'll discuss it. But in terms of getting into an argument or anything going down that road, I don't do it. I don't have the time for it. I don't have the energy. It's what it is. If I don't want something moved, there is no discussion. If I'm watching the game, there is no discussion.
Hold up. You know we got to go into it because your expectation is from September to February on Sundays, there's nothing. So she can't plan. I want to go out of town with you, baby, this weekend to get away. That's a no, and it's on her dime.
That's in the bold lettering up front.
That's wild.
September to
Hey, Anita.
February Sundays. Don't bother me. You,
Shit,
you don't get to make plans. You don't get to do anything.
that's like 5 months.
But see,
That's a long ass time.
this is the thing. I don't. Well, with the exception of now, I rarely drink. I don't do any drugs. I work, and I work extremely hard. I'm not out in the clubs partying. I don't have, even though I have a home in which I can do it. I don't have women coming in here left and right. I'm not a no good dude. I don't have kids all over the place. So my track record stipulates and shows that I don't do much. So if I want 5 months out of the year, one day a week, just to focus on me, is that really asking too much? And if it is, hey, look, there's a big ass ocean out there. Matter of fact, there's seven of them. Go get you a fishing rod and have fun. Like I said, I'm not arguing. I'm gonna make a statement.
Yeah. It's only so many big fish that they can catch out there.
And I'm and at this particular portion, hey, if all I can slide in is a friends with benefit arrangement, you know what? I might be amenable to that.
I said Herb is not asking too much.
As long
So
as Herb got pizza and wings, it's all good.
And I know how to use the phone and order those.
I just I just think that kind of cuts out a lot. 5 months without someone even attempting to try to do something special. But
And,
hey,
and my birthday is smack in the month of December. You know, the funny thing is, me and my brothers were talking about because they're Bills fans. I'm a Dallas fan. Um, Dallas plays in Buffalo the week after my birthday, so we were talking about getting together then and going to the Bills game. That's still up in the air. But usually, what I do for my birthday is I slide up to Toronto for the weekend. You know, I might go do some ice skating. I did that a couple years ago, some ice skating, and I finally got to the top of the CN Tower. Did the tourist thing there, so I'm not opposed to doing things on the weekend. But when Sunday rolls around, I'm in front of the TV.
Well, that's part of the weekend.
Yes, but you're not grasping what I just said. I said when Sunday comes around, I'm in front of the TV, and I'm more than content to watch the games by myself, as I generally do. Now I might go to the casino and watch with a bunch of other people, but I'm not being bothered. Nobody's asking me for something. Nobody's asking me if I need this and I need. It reminds, matter of fact, it reminds me of this the piece did by and I can never remember his name when he talks about men want women near them but not underneath them. And he goes on, he does a skit about how he's watching a game. His girlfriend comes in there, makes him a sandwich on 7 grain bread and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, yeah, man, just at times we don't really want to be bothered. We
mm,
just want some peace and quiet, maybe a little something to eat. And depending on what time it is, he may not want sex. And I know that women, what you mean a guy that don't want sex?
Oh, hell no.
It happens. It happens. Doesn't mean he's cheating. Doesn't mean he's running around doing this and doing that. It happens. Men turn down sex to it, and just if you haven't encountered it, good for you. I'm just letting you know that when you do, don't start flying off the conclusions, talking about let me check your phone, let me do this, let me do that. That's gonna make them say, okay, you know what? I'm gone. Let me go get a hotel room for the night. I'm gonna let you cool down. Matter of fact, let me tell a
That
story.
makes it worse.
Let- exactly. And I'm gonna tell you this story. God honest truth. I was riding my bike to work last week. Cross the street, and there's a woman calling the man's name out, and I won't repeat the man's name. And as I was riding by, she said, "Do you see anybody on that side of the street?" I said, "No." I rode another 10 feet. There's a guy standing off to the left. And I asked him, I said, "So what is your name?" And he answered the question. I said, "Well, there's a woman looking for you." He's, and being who I am and seeing some of the things that I saw, I didn't know if he was suffering from some form of dementia or whatever the case was. So I was like, "Sir, come with me." He's like, "No, no, no." I said, "But sir, somebody's looking for you." He says, "Yes, I know. She pissed me off." I said, "Oh, okay." I turned my black ass around and rode my ass on to work. I said, "Good." He putting her feet to the fire. Women, understand something. If you're gonna push a man to the point where he has to walk away from you, when he does, blame yourself.
No, no,
mm,
no.
mm.
I'm going to debate you on that. Hold on.
How can you debate me when the man said she pissed me off and he intentionally was walking away from her?
I saw what you just said.
What do you think I
That,
was? What do you think I said
hold
was
on.
based off of?
I can't hear you because I'm waiting for my laptop to reset. Oh, so I can connect through Facebook on my laptop.
Okay. But what I said was based on what occurred. It wasn't something that I made up.
I heard that part.
But that's what I'm basing the statement on. I'm not basing it on anything that I've done. I'm just all the time we tell men, don't hit women. If she pisses you off, restrain her or walk away. He walked away.
That
Yeah.
just makes things worse from my perspective.
But
Well,
yes, and it's going to. And next time,
Because to me, that's not good. That's not effective conflict resolution skills.
what what I mean, I think it makes sense to walk away, and I know that's one thing my grandfather had told me is like, well, if you got to put your hands on a woman, it's time for you to, walk away. If it gets to that point, and you maybe seem like you're avoiding it, but maybe it's a time, a cooling off period, to say, you know what, I'm on get away, and then we're gonna come back and have this conversation instead of in the heat of the moment, because sometimes women can provoke. You throwing punches, you swinging and stuff like that, and then you connect. Shit, some guys just black out and go into defense mode, and that's when you end up with tragic shit happening.
mhm,
So sometimes it's best to just let them walk. Don't go chasing behind them, yelling and screaming and all that stuff. Let them walk. Let them walk. Unless you worried that he's gonna walk and he's walking to someone else, walking right into someone
ah,
else's arms, and you
that I
know
can
that,
understand. I can
and you
understand.
know that. And I know many of you might say, "Well, that's what he ought to do. Then shit, if I he can go ahead and do it." But you're full of shit.
No, I wouldn't say that.
uh, But hey, like that's real, and that might be the fear of certain women who go after. Like, listen, you're just not gonna walk away from me like that because you may know he got something waiting for him.
I just because he said it, everything he needed to know when he said she pissed me off. As a guy, he didn't need to say anything else. Somebody else who isn't acutely aware may have said, "Well, what did she do?" It wasn't my business. I don't get involved in domestics. I've learned that over the years of doing security and seeing things. No,
I have to log in my Facebook, so I gotta log off here for a second.
all
All
right.
right.
It's just better to leave those things alone. They're adults. They'll work it out if they're going to, and if they don't, I haven't suffered anything.
So let me read Summer's comment. She says, "Better to let the man walk away to cool off instead of staying there arguing." And what else? But also ask yourself, did you push him into another woman's arms? And I would have turned around and kept going too once he said that myself.
Yeah,
So, it's all about how you handle situations, which, but a lot of that is based on your expectations
mhm.
and your standards that may be killing a relationship. Like, oh, you ain't gonna walk away from me. Oh, we gonna finish this conversation. Or if you leave here, you ain't coming back in. Why give? You don't give nobody no ultimatum like that. Don't do that. Don't do that if you really want him to come back,
Yeah.
because he might be. He might have a key somewhere to somewhere else. I'm just I'm just saying. Don't do that. Don't do that if you really don't mean it. Somebody
Okay.
said it's all about emotional intelligence and maturity, and that's a key thing too. Emotional intelligence, which a lot of people are lacking.
Go ahead, Nina. You were saying you disagree, or you don't like it. I guess I should say, It
Hold
doesn't
on, I
sit well
still
with you.
can't hear.
Can you hear?
Okay, I can hear now.
Okay. You were saying you don't like it for you.
What, when a man walks away
Yeah.
and I'm trying to discuss something because I'm mad? No, I don't like that.
There's your key phrase that you are mad. Having the discussion when anyone is mad usually isn't a good time to have a discussion. Just saying it isn't.
I guess maybe with certain men, that hasn't been my experience with all men.
No, 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 no. This has nothing to do
Where's my
with
glasses?
gender. Think about the last time you tried to have a rational discussion with somebody when you were mad. It generally doesn't work out well because you're not really anyone is not rationally thinking. They're in a state of agitation where something might be said that cannot be taken back. This is why men tend to walk away when they get in that state
Mm-hmm.
because they know words generally come first. And as David said, actions follow. And once those actions come out, if those actions happen to be um, destructive, ain't nothing he can do. He's done.
Well, I think that's part, well, when you're in a relationship, that's part of learning how to deal with the other person and what works for them. Because if somebody has, like, can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, we hear you.
Oh, okay. Because somebody has like abandonment issues, that could be traumatizing for a man to just walk away instead of explain, like, give, like, for me personally, it'd be easier to just give me a hug and say, sweetheart, calm down. I'm going to go take a breather and I'll be back when we're cool down so we can resolve the issue.
So is that really gonna work? Just giving you a hug.
Yeah, yeah, for the most part. Me personally, I didn't say every woman, but me, I may have abandonment issues, you know,
And,
from childhood trauma.
and we've talked about that or the attachment theories on this broadcast that some people do have that, and it happens when as a child you drop your the child off to the babysitter or to the grandparents, and the mother is gone for 3, 4, 5 days, and the baby like shit like, where the hell is where the hell is mom's? Where the hell is she
Mhm.
at? And people don't understand that. They think it's cool. I'm living my best life. I'm doing whatever. My mom, she ain't got nothing going on. I went out of town and I was gone. He took me out of town. We was gone for 7 days. You don't think about that baby like shit.
Mm-mm.
And while they crying and carrying on, and you know where to be found, that shit plays a factor as you get older. All this shit is connected. But
Mhm.
people think like, no, you grow up, you become, an adolescent, and you become an adult, and nothing, nothing travels with you,
Yeah.
and that's not the case. So we're all work in progresses, and for
Mhm.
people who say like they had the perfect life and all this, they're fucking liars, major liars, and
Mhm.
and if you believe that, that's on you. But we all have our struggles.
That's why I was saying, okay, it might be effective for you to walk away, but for the other person, well, if you're in a relationship or you're friends, you have to know what triggers that other person and what makes it worse and how to better resolve conflicts without inducing like that trauma all over again.
But
So
this is
to me,
oh
that's
sorry, go
all
ahead.
part of getting to know peers and your partner, is what works and why does it work and why doesn't that work? Why doesn't ignoring me work? Well, because maybe that was traumatic, something that happened when I was growing up. So what would work is XYZ.
And this may tie into Herb's 100 questions. That may be one of the questions that you talk about early. Most people are like, oh, that's a weird question. That's weird. That's irky. All that shit kids say, whatever. But it's
Mhm.
legitimate stuff, whatever. Like, how do you handle conflict? Well, if we get into it, how do you handle it? Do you normally shut down? Do you lash out? What's your coping mechanisms? People don't ask that shit. They like, oh man, we hung out, we did this, but they don't have those conversations about again childhood, pre-adolescent, adolescent things. Me, I'm a storyteller. I'm gonna tell you different stories, and that's what the way I'm gonna communicate. So you can say, interesting, or whatever the case is. But that's how I chronicle it. It's been one story after another growing up, and that's just the form I use to let people know this is what happened with me. This is what I went through, and maybe this is why I am the way I am.
And to follow what David said, a lot of people are uncomfortable with talking about themselves. Now, I don't know if that comes from being bashful as a child, um, not being asked to do any type of, and I don't even consider that to be public speaking. Just I don't know if that just comes as a result of not being asked to speak in front of a stranger. Because we all do this when we go to a job interview. Your duty is to sell yourself, but some people have a difficult time putting that into words. And for the life of me, I don't know where it comes from. I guess because I come from a large family of 10 siblings, you know, mostly boys, that if you didn't speak up, you weren't heard. So we learned to speak up. We learned to voice an opinion, an objection, or make a statement, even if it wasn't going to be well received or well liked. And I understand that's a luxury that I grew up with that a lot of people don't have, especially if you come from a family of three siblings where two were boys and one was a girl, and they ran the household, so the female never got a chance to speak up, or vice versa. So I think some people have to learn to actually speak up and say, "This is what I want. This is what I expect." And if those aren't met, one has to be willing to pick up whatever it is they came with and walk away. And I think a lot of people are afraid to do that, especially as people tend to get older. A lot of people, they say they don't want to settle, but they also don't want to be alone. Well, let me not say alone. They don't want to be by themselves, because alone tends to be one of those words that people say, well, I'm not alone, as if they need to be defensive. I'm alone in this big old house, me and three cats. Not a goddamn problem. I like being alone, especially on Sundays with the clicker. I like being alone, but I'm not lonely. See, there's a difference. And I think
Because
once
you got
people,
your cats.
my cats, two of my cats are upstairs. The only time I see them is when I go upstairs to make sure that they're okay and I feed them. Other than that, they don't want to be around me. They tell me, go back downstairs, you human. Leave us alone. We're sleeping. They tell me that and they meow meows. They say, leave us alone. You ain't got no cat treats? You ain't got no catnip? Leave us alone. Oh, go clean our litter box. But
So
honestly, people have to get comfortable with speaking out, or being by themselves.
so when we again when we look at expectations and standards and is it killing relationships, you got to look at the different factors, and like I introduced some at the beginning. One of them was no fighting, no arguing.
Mhm.
We know that it's going to be some going back and forth. It's going to be, but long as the hope would be it wouldn't turn into violence, or whatever the case is. And maybe that's the point of a guy saying, I know I need to get away. I need to go somewhere and chill or whatever. But again, like I said, it's maybe different dynamics that may cause that woman to say, shit, I don't want to let him out of my sight. I know how he does. So, but again, it's about knowing your personnel. And maybe certain things you have to know what makes your partner tick
Mhm.
and not. And you got to be able to be able to look at their body language or their facial expressions and say, "Oh boy, it's been a rough day for him," and try to make it right. Try to be the calm to each other's storm.
I
But
just ask them, are you hungry? Because I got a knuckle sandwich right here waiting for you.
you talking reckless.
but with the right man, it makes them laugh.
Mm.
So
You mean
like,
Yeah.
he's got to be a Klingon?
no, I'm saying if he knows my
He's
personality,
got to be a Klingon.
if he knows my personality, he knows that I use humor in everything.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Klingon mating rituals? Star Trek.
No,
Okay, that's
no,
why it doesn't make any sense. Okay,
mm-mm.
for Klingons, violence is a mating ritual. So when they threaten stuff like that, they actually mean let's get it on. That's the joke.
Oh, like, oh.
Mm.
Now I feel so naive. No,
Mm.
but all my friends, they know I'll agree. Herbert, you know I'll agree to disagree with you every day, all day, without it turning into a fight.
Because I don't argue. I make statements.
That too.
Well, you know, Herb, you made a lot of statements over the years and expectations that I always had playing in my mental Rolodex. And I have to bring up some of them, like the one I'm still stuck on that. That is brick cold outside, and you said if a woman comes to pick you up and you have to get gas, you ain't pumping the gas.
So car.
So,
It's her car.
so,
So in the hearts of hearts, Matt in Niagara Falls, Buffalo, it's brick cold. It's 12 degrees outside, wind chill factor, and she got to get gas, and y'all on your way to somewhere. You just gonna sit your ass in the passenger or driver seat if you driving her whip and not pump it?
okay, what
That's
if
wild.
I'm driving and I'm paying? Can you at least get out and pump the gas, Herbert?
Wow.
Better go
Wow.
to the res where they have full service.
Mm, mm, mm. Hey, I mean, I guess if you know that's him going into it, uh, then that's on you. Because a lot of times people say, "Well, I can make him change. I got the goods that make him change. He gonna pump this fucking gas, guaranteed." And if they don't budge off of it, then what's the next move? You didn't showed your hand. You didn't used all your resources. What you gonna do?
I'll
I'll
be out.
explain. I'll explain it like this. It's the equivalent of me inviting a woman over to my house for dinner, but she got to cook.
Okay. If that's the agreement, what's
There
wrong
was
with
no
that?
agreement.
I'm saying
No, there
if
was no
that
agreement. That was my understanding. Because women are supposed to cook just like men are supposed to pump gas. Oh, smirk now. We got a smirk, no
mhm.
response.
Because if I'm coming to Herb's house and you want me to cook, you should say, "Hey, Anita, dear friend, I got some food over here. You want to come over and cook me some dinner?" And I'd be like, simple yes or simple no. I'd be like, "Hey, next time I need gas, can you get out and pump my gas? And I'll come over and cook."
But you're juxtaposing two situations to try and get one, and that's not how this goes down.
I mean,
The,
I
the,
think that's fair.
the expectation was that because you're driving, you're paying, then I'm gonna get out and pump gas.
I
My
mean, it'd be
expectation,
nice,
absolutely, I don't disagree. But just because something is nice doesn't mean it's going to get done.
I guess.
I see some people in the chat said shit, they gonna drop your ass back off, or first and last time you seeing them, like it's a done deal.
And these are the expectations that we're discussing.
Hmm.
See,
I mean, it's not just the expectations of a partner or a man.
hold on, hold on, hold
I
on, hold
mean,
on, hold
I
on, hold on,
wouldn't
hold on,
necessarily
Anita.
expect my mom to get out and pump the gas because she's my elder.
Hold on, Anita. But the comment says first and last time you see me.
Oh, I didn't see that. Okay.
That's what I'm talking about. That's an expectation that has never been communicated. It's expected. So now,
True.
if I'm getting out the car to pump the gas, are you dropping the ass at the end of the day? That's my counter expectation.
My dropping ass at the end of the
Yeah.
day, I'm gonna drop my credit card in your hands so you can pay for the gas with my credit card.
This is why I don't get out and pump gas.
So you want, wait a minute, wait a minute. You
This is why I
want
don't get out and
ass
pump
to
gas.
pump some gas.
No, 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 no. What I'm saying is there's an expectation. The expectation is because she's driving and she's a female, then I'm going to get out and pump the gas. That's cool. If I can expect her to put out at the end of the day, that's my expectation. People will call me crazy, insane to say something like that. Well, how could you do something? How could you have that? You men are all the same. No, no, no. We're men. We're not all the same. But there's just certain standards and expectations that we have. One begets the other, or does it not?
So we, we see how this works. That
So Herb wants some ass to pump some gas at the end of the day.
I don't want anything. I'm just saying what I'm not going to do.
Okay. So at the end of the day, if I give you some ass, you're gonna pump my gas.
I might consider it. Depends on how bad the sex was or how
How
good it was.
bad? How what?
I'm
How
just saying
bad?
there's bad sex out there. Let's not delude ourselves.
we see BGS said exchange of values.
Damn right. Damn right.
And I think this Daphne, she said, my husband while dating did it and I didn't expect it. But our schedule meshed now. Being married, our schedules do not mesh. So we've discussed I get gas on Saturday afternoon.
And there you are. Now I'm amenable to that. If I have an agreement with somebody and I said it's as good as done, you don't have to ask. You can assume that because it's been discussed and because I said yes, it is done. It's like you exhaling. You don't even have to think about it.
So is that the point of emphasis that if you discuss it and we agree, then you could expect it to happen. But
Absolutely.
don't have these preconceived notions that oh, this is what I want. It's automatically gonna happen. Or in my last relationship, this person did this and that. Because a lot of times people throw that out there. Well, I never had a man who didn't do this or do that. Well, you might be setting yourself up for failure with that. Because just as much as you don't like if a man compared what the last woman did, no man wants to hear that garbage either.
I'm gonna reference something that's true, and I'm gonna reference something that BGS said on a video some years ago. He said, a woman, I believe, said this to her daughter. She said, there's one or two ways you can deal with a man. You can deal with a man from the standpoint of what's in your wallet or what's between your legs. He said, find one and be consistent. That's the problem that a lot of people have is they're inconsistent with their actions. Me, I'm consistent. You gonna find me doing what I do from one day to the next day to the next. This is why nobody is ever surprised when they see me and what I'm doing because I'm consistent. No matter what I do, no matter where I go, I am who I am. So you're not gonna find me eating this one day and not this the next day. I love my fillet of fish. You more than likely will find me eating one sometime along. I know it not your thing, Anita, but that's who I am. That's what I do. Sundays, I'm watching football. You'll never find me in a bar. You're gonna find me smoking. Excuse me, smoking weed. You're not gonna find me drinking. Well, can't say I'm not won't drink malt liquor, but you're not gonna find me drinking beer. You're not gonna find me hungover. You're not gonna find me at the gambling spot. Things I don't do. Somebody could walk up to somebody and say, Herb was drinking beer. You know what they're gonna say? You're a goddamn lie. Because people know I don't drink beer.
So, Herbert, on a Sunday when the Cowboys are playing, if I call you up and say, let's go to a sports bar in Buffalo and watch the game, you're not going?
I don't know you called.
Huh?
I don't know you called.
What do you mean?
How am I gonna know you called?
I said if.
You're not filling in the blanks. You
She's not
said you
answering the
called.
phone.
Yeah, answer your damn phone.
That's my point. I'm not answering no phone.
Before the game? Before the game, you're not answering your phone?
No,
The day before the game, you're not answering your phone?
you got to keep in mind. I work
The day
midnight. So
before that?
hold on. You got to keep in mind that I work midnight. So when most people are making those calls, I'm asleep. So if you don't catch me between noon and 5, which is hard, considering well, depending on what time of year it is. In the summer, I'm back to working out. I'm generally working out. I don't bring my phones with me. I leave them at home
Well, your
when they're
your your real
operational.
friends know when to call you and how to get a hold of you.
So her
The
your
bat
your
line.
your
My
woman.
friends have the bat line. They know.
So your woman, if y'all live separately, she can't call or text you during, just to say, hi, I see what you up to, or she know what you up to, but just a little small talk to let you know she thinking about you.
She can. Just don't expect a reply then. I'm consistent. I said this from day one.
So is she welcome to watch the game with you?
Sure, so long as she don't ask any questions, which is why I watch by myself. I find that most women, if they don't know enough about the sport, are going to ask questions. Now, I have been to games with women who didn't ask any questions because they understood the game. Those were the best people I've ever been around in terms of females. They're out there. I've had the just the unvarnished um human decency pleasure. I don't even know how to. It's like Nirvana. Just sit there with a female you're attracted to. You want to do some things with that understands football. You ain't got to explain shit to her. It's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous, but it doesn't happen often, which is why I treasure it when it does happen.
You didn't answer my other question.
Which was that?
Can a woman make plans with you to go to a sports bar and watch the game?
No,
Why?
because I want to watch it in the sanctity of my home. I'd much rather
Okay.
watch a game at my house, her house, or a friend's house
Okay.
because
My
it's
living
Dallas.
room is almost remodeled.
Because if Dallas is playing fucked up, I want to be able to curse, and I can't
As
do that in public and maintain good decorum.
long
People
as you're
say
bringing Sammy's pizza and the wings.
I could potentially do that.
I'm getting my new
May-
furniture.
Maybe that's why.
Football season.
Maybe that's why it's easier for fight night boxing matches to watch with a lady. Uh, because most, unless they that real sensitive, or I don't like to see people beating each other up. But I think for the most part, women don't mind really watching that with. It's a lot of. It's a lot of times people watch, watching football and basketball, but it's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that they're not aware of. And unless you actually played it and stuff like that, your ass could be clueless to what's going on. I mean, there's
That
a lot
is
of science to boxing too. That people watch it kind of know what's going to happen, or throughout the fight may say, okay, they're setting them up to do this and that, and a woman might not understand. But I think the overall combat and that competitiveness going back and forth, a lot of them may get into that, into like boxing.
I mean,
Now,
I don't. I just look at their body. It looks nice. Just like football, I watched Stephon Diggs all day long.
tight ends, tight ends, and tight pants, huh? But I do want
I'm a
people to
fan. I'm a fan.
I do want people to understand something. I'm only like that with football, basketball, baseball, hockey. We can watch anywhere, anytime, anywhere. I'll sit there and talk to you about what's going on in the game, what they're trying to do, and everything. Football is just so condensed because there's only so many games and there's so much riding on a particular game. So it's it's the equivalent of trying to text and drive. You can do it, but is it wise? Yeah, that's all.
What's tonight's topic about anyway?
Well, we have, because y'all could never get through any other topics, and y'all had ADHD. So as an educator, I cut that shit off. We only have one
Yeah,
um,
it's an
topic,
yeah,
but it's
What's
so
the
many.
topic?
unrealistic standards and expectations are they killing relationships?
Oh, okay.
See, women want to have that expectation to be able to pick up the phone, call that Bo at any time. He answers, he responds. And if he don't, she might think that something's going on. Not forgetting that it's football Sunday, and we only been talking about football Sunday for the last month because preseason game number 5 has already occurred. Final cuts is coming, and a 53-man roster is about to get set.
That's right.
So
Next week is kickoff.
I'm not trying to put you on the spot, her, but it's only me, you, and Anita here, and I know we've been doing this for a long time. uh, and one of the things you said before is when you out on a date, a woman bet never decide to stick their fork or a spoon in your plate and sample your food, or
Go,
you're gonna automatically terminate the date.
go,
Oh, I have a bad habit of doing that too.
go.
I'm like, give me a taste of your food.
It's selfish.
I don't think
Yeah.
it's selfish.
It is
I didn't
because
want to order that food though. I just wanted a bite. I just wanted a taste.
I'll put it to you like this.
I heard your spiel before. I heard it.
It's not. I won't say for people that because somebody already thinks I'm wild, so I might as well go ahead and just really let them know how wild I am. I am a fair-minded person. I will ask, is there anything that you want to try?
But hold on, then we're gonna be like the girls in the scenario. Shaniqua ordering wings, a double cheeseburger, large fries, a
I, per-
milkshake.
Personally speaking, I don't have a problem with a woman with a big appetite so long as she eats. A woman that eats to me is a happy woman.
But not all men are like that though.
Find out.
Whoever was the guy in that scenario, he felt shortchanged. Like, damn, why do I gotta pay for all this?
I don't know if he felt shortchanged. I just think like some women responded like, okay, if this is the first couple of dates, I'm not about to go in and eat like that. Again, but then again, expectations and standards. They may have been taught like you go out with a man, the first time, don't try to order this or that. Just get enough. You got to try to be dainty and cute or whatever the case is. You might leave there freaking hungry. Clearly, this woman says, shit, I'm not about to get no salad or nothing. I'm going in. I'm going home full.
Anita
Yeah.
ain't leaving hungry.
Eat. Manger. Mm.
I ain't gonna order. I'll just have a salad. No.
Yeah, no. I want to. If I'm taking a female out to eat, eat. Just don't eat what I get. And think. And I'm sorry, you can't pick off my plate.
Well, what if I ask you to taste yours and you just put a little bite on my plate?
That's not gonna happen.
So you just go tell them.
So
They say
you
that
just want
that
to
look
spend
good.
extra money? You just want to spend like 15 extra dollars so I can just taste what you have? That don't make sense, Herbert.
And it's but see,
What if
this
I
is
don't like it?
oh well. Take it home,
That's
give it to
wasting
you.
money. I
Take it
don't
home,
like
give it to
wasting.
you. Take it home and give it because what people have to
Buddy
understand is
can't
this.
have that stuff.
Okay, what people need to understand about me and what I eat is that I am regimented to a certain part of the menu. I don't eat beef. I don't eat pork. I only eat certain kinds of fish. Most often, when I go out to a restaurant, I don't order the fish. So that means I'm only eating chicken dishes. And from what I've seen, most restaurants, the chicken menu is very limited. So I'm already limited as to what I can eat. Most often, I'll go with somebody that have the entire range of the menu. So I don't think it's too much for me, personally speaking, to say, look, you got the entire range of the menu, get what you want, my dime, but don't ask for what I get. I don't think
Oh,
that's too much to ask.
okay. So when you explain it like that, it makes a little bit more sense.
Like I said, I figured for the no. Oh, let me read the question so people would understand what I'm responding to. It says, Herb, if you met a woman who would leave you alone on a Sunday and she asked you for a romantic date night at a restaurant with flowers and the whole thing, would you do it? No,
Why
because she
not?
wouldn't have to ask. See,
Okay.
what
Valid.
people need to understand about me is I'm a different type of cat. I've already said that I'm the type that will replace a woman's wardrobe. I'm the type that will buy a woman something and take her out to a restaurant. So she wouldn't have to ask all of that stuff.
Oh yeah,
I'm
because
a,
you
I'm a
you
different type of cat.
you
But
said you do the wardrobe check.
yeah,
Yeah, you go up in that gate and like, yo, let's see what's in your freaking closet.
gotta go. What am I gonna wear? I'll go get you something, but you can't wear that. Like there's certain items of clothing, like there's certain items of clothing
What?
that I see on a woman, and I'm just like, no.
Like what?
Camo. If you have never been
Camo?
in camo clothing, camouflage clothing. If you have never been in the military,
Okay.
you don't have any business wearing BDUs, camouflage clothing, or anything like that. I just think it's sacrilege. You ain't never put your ass in the line of fire to deserve or earn the right to wear that clothing. That's to me is just a no go. I'm sorry.
Okay.
That's just a personal edict of mine. Don't just don't do it.
So
I
what
So
always
about when
think it's
guys
weird
do it?
too. I think it's weird when guys do it.
I think when guys do it, guys are actually trying to. I want to be delicate in how I say this. I think guys are actually trying to
Don't be
garner something.
delicate.
No, I know.
Don't be
I don't.
delicate now.
No. The reason why I say I want to be delicate is because it goes back to what um, servicemen in the Vietnam era used to say. And they said that the stories of the active personnel became the stories of the people who never saw duty. I have never been there, so I can't speak accurately about those things. So now that's why I said I want to be delicate. But yeah, just anybody. But I focus on females obviously because that's who I date. But people who have never been in the military, the reserves or whatever, having seen combat, active or reserve, don't wear camo clothing. It's like wearing scrubs. You're not a doctor. You're not a nurse. Take that shit off. It's I mean, just think if women all of a sudden started to wear habits, and for people who don't know what habits are, they're what nuns wear. Just think if people started to wear habits, or women started to wear habits, or men were coming out wearing rosaries and dressing like um um uh not Christian priests, I'm sorry, Catholic priests. People will start losing their goddamn minds. You're not a priest. Take that off. The bands. You're not a take that off. And that's my stance. That's why I say I'm looking at a woman's wardrobe, and if there's something I don't like, I'm saying, look, I'm gonna go buy you something. Why? Because I don't like that. I'm gonna tell her flat out. That's the expectation I have. You gonna be with me, I'm gonna dress you. So you are wearing what
Damn,
I deem tasteful.
that was a strong conviction. You gonna be with me? I'm gonna dress you.
Yeah, absolutely. Some women, well, you can't do this to me. That's fine. Bye. I'm, I
Ooh
like
wee.
I don't argue. I make statements.
Anita got you over there perplexed.
But I'm willing to fit the
What you
bill.
wearing tonight, Anita? Run it through me. Run it through me. Send me a picture. See if I can get my approval. Mm.
But you have some people that,
Mhm.
and this is what we mean by the expectations. Nobody should have a problem with somebody's expectations so long as they're upfront with them. It's when people start masking and hiding and start shucking and jiving on what they really want, what they really gonna settle for. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna hey look, this is what it is, this is how I like it, this is what I want. And as a matter of fact, there's a skit on an old sitcom news radio. Two people get together and they're discussing dating and marriage. The whole situation takes about 30 seconds. And if I find it, I'll post it in the counselor's corner. I'll also post it on my page. Man and woman get together, they talk about this, they talk about this. This doesn't work out, this doesn't work out. And they say, all right, we gave it a shot. That's it. You have a lot of people that, for whatever reason, like I said earlier, they don't want to be by themselves. They haven't figured out. Matter of fact, I wrote these down.
Maybe we
We
ain't meant to be by ourselves. Not everybody is built to be a monk
hold on.
or a mountain man.
We treat dating like the wild wild west. Some men are willing to put their pistol in any holster, and some women are allowed. I'm sorry. Some women will allow any pistol in her holster. If you catch the reference, you catch the reference. When we go
That's
places,
kind of gross.
when we go places, we do things. We tend to have a roadmap, so we pack accordingly. GPS. We get there. We do what we do. Dating and relationships is the only thing we don't have a roadmap for. We don't know who we want to date. We don't know why we want to date them. We don't know what we want to do. We don't know when we want to do it. The only thing we know is we got to have this, and this. Why? Why do we need
What's
to have
wrong
all
with
these?
that?
Nothing provided you can answer if an individual can answer those questions. But more often than not, people don't know who they want to date. If they did, there wouldn't be so many first dates. There would be more long lasting relationships and potentially more marriages. But nobody ever sits down and says, you know what? I want a woman that does this. I want a woman that doesn't do this. People don't do that because they're afraid that that list potentially will include something about someone that they would have to dismiss that they want to get with, especially men. No, say, oh, she fine. I just want to bet her. I don't care if she got this. I don't care if she got that. I just want to get with her. And then you wonder why you have these, like was what was discussed in the counselor's corner by Andre Hill, with the black men and black women having kids and they're abandoning them. That's why. BGS has said it a number of times, and I'm going to reiterate it. Men have to learn to control their wand. Jumping into bed with anybody, getting anybody pregnant, you can get any result. And that's what happens when people don't have those expectations. It's all right to have a level of what you're not willing to accept. Some people might call it toxic. Oh well, that's them. But the moment people start doing that, you will see less problems on the back end. But because people aren't willing to do that, we see all these problems. See all these broken homes, doesn't matter what the ethnicity is. You see all these dysfunctional relationships. You see people arguing, like the couple I talked about earlier, because they can't resolve things amicably at that particular point in time. So no, I got to get away. And that's not to say that every situation a couple has is going to be um, able to be resolved amicably. Sometimes you know what hey, she wants to bother me on Sundays. Don't she know I watch football on Sundays? Okay, you know what? Now I got to block your phone number just for the day because you won't leave me alone. You keep calling, keep texting. You know I'm watching football.
Well,
This just got ridiculous.
it may sound silly, but we know, and she might be working or resting. We know Shauna. She says she the block queen. She the black queen. She blocks her man at any given point, and I'm like, yo, that shit ain't cool, man. It's not cool, and maybe that may be expectation. Yo, you block me, shit. It could be forever. It could be forever. It just especially if you just doing it just to be doing it, but some people that's their thing. Oh, I'm just gonna block them for the day. I'm just gonna do this or whatever the case is. Well, try it. See how the end result may be. It may work for some people. They may sit around and and, and wait for it. And again, I always when I be telling this, I always think about my middle school stories because all this shit be like adulthood. So I got a young lady in my office, and she on the phone with a guy. This boy, he gets mad because she was saying stuff, and I guess in front of me, like I was really paying attention. And he said, "You blocked." And then I was like, "Man, he blocked you like that?" Then she was like, yeah. I said, "So how long do he normally block you?" She's like, hey, "It's like for 5 minutes or whatever." I'm not even gonna play with that tool like that. But you have some people that um, do that just as a control mechanism, and you may have some guys that fall right into it, or women fall right into it. And you can pack your damn lunch. With me, I'm not about to do all that. I'm not about to keep playing those games. This shit could go on for months. Shit can go on for a year. You understand? You feel me, Anita? Don't play with me.
Hold on now. Don't play with you. Okay.
But
Well,
that's go ahead.
I have an expectation, and I don't even know how to put this. So, if I'm in a long term relationship, right, with somebody that's like 15 minutes away from me, I have the expectation. Now, you guys can tell me if this is unreasonable or not, to see my man at least once a week.
15 minutes
So,
away?
yeah.
You should be able to. That's
So,
not
if
too much
he's
to ask for.
working, has a dog, high energy dog, lives with his mom because she got health problems, and he doesn't. He's too tired after work to come see me or sleep over. He's too tired on his day off. When the hell are we supposed to? I mean, do I need an appointment to have sex? Like, I think that is just ridiculous that some guys like actually tell somebody like we can be boyfriend and girlfriend, but we don't have to see each other every week. What? That's not my expectation. I'm seeing you at least once a week.
Was that communicated originally?
No, no.
And let's see, this is when I broke up the list and I said who, what, where, when, in the fine print. You got to put, look, you got to blow my back out at least once a month or once a week. I'm You're laughing. I'm serious. This is why you're asking the questions. I want this. I want this. If you can't do this, you can't do this. Then there is no us.
I mean, I can understand a man working and being tired
I
and
can't.
taking care of his mama,
I can't.
taking care of a high energy dog,
I can't.
but if you're too tired to come see your woman, you might not have a good woman
Now, I will
because
say
I might
this.
be gone.
I will say this. I have been in that situation before where when my mother was recovering from colon cancer, that she stayed with me for 6 months and I didn't do anything else. I worked, came home, took care of her. So the female that I was dealing with, I didn't see for 6 months. No contact.
Not even like a phone call.
When I say no contact, I'm speaking physical. But
I
she
mean,
was,
that's a different kind of situation.
hold on. But this is what I'm getting at. My expectation was sort of along the line with yours. Hey, look, once a week we get it in, and she worked 2 jobs. Don't care. We getting it in. Now she could have said, "Look, I'm working. I was working 2 jobs, and I want to be serviced. Come handle your business." She didn't. To her great nature and great graces, she didn't. She understood. So there was never any issue. I would have returned the same thing. But what I'm saying is this: you can have an expectation, but is it realistic? And if it isn't, are you willing to work with the individual that you're in a relationship with, so there can be a meeting, a come to hither moment, if you will? And this is what we're talking about. See, some people, excuse me, will say that, excuse me, will say that my Sundays from September to February are unrealistic. That's fine.
It's not unrealistic if I want to come over and eat and act like I'm watching the game.
But that's what I'm saying.
I'll be
Some
like too busy eating to ask you any questions.
some people would say because they want that time that's unrealistic. I tell people I've been like this for years. This is not something new. I've been watching football since I was 8, 9 years old. So this is something I've been doing for 40 some odd years. It's not changing. It's not negotiable, not subject for discussion, debate, or anything else. This is what I do. This is who I am.
So you
But
put, I'm sure you put that out at the beginning. That if you dating someone and you say, well, during this time, uh, calendar is blocked off, it's nothing we can do, and so when you put it out there, have you had somebody say, that's fine, okay, I can get with that?
Mhm.
Mm.
that's because I'm gonna keep my mouth shut and just go eat and act like I'm watching the game.
No, but the greater in addition to that, the greater context is this: I know
You know, I got jokes.
who I want to deal with. You have some people that'll start to say, okay, you know what? She's fine or he's gorgeous. I got to make an exception. And when they make the exception, they want to be mad at the other individual.
Mm.
Why? You made the exception. You knew what your rules were, you know what your expectations were, but you diminished your own rules and your own expectations to please somebody else. And that individual didn't do anything,
Hmm.
nothing. But you want to be
So,
mad. That's foolish.
like, as a woman, I feel like I have some simple expectations
Okay.
of a man that says he cares about me.
Mhm.
I like good morning. It's always the little things for me that get me. I like good morning text, good night text. If you're on your work break, text. Schedule a date. Pick me some flowers out of the damn field. That's sweet to me. Plan a date. It doesn't even have to really cost. Like, I'm not all that materialistic, so I don't care. Even if a man makes 75,000, that don't matter to me because how much debt to income ratio does he have? You know, so I don't even look at that part. But it's always the little thoughtful things that get me. So that's my expectations. To see my man, you know, more than once a week, that'd be great. Situation dictates though. Situation dictates. If we live together, we're going to see each other all the time. So it's like sometimes people are too busy with both their jobs to be having sex like we want to be having sex 3 times a day, or every night, or every morning at 4 o'clock in the morning, whatever.
The Facebook user is asking, can they chime in? Do you mean can you join the panel or can you just make a statement? If you want to make a statement, by all means, make a statement.
Better yet, come through, pull up, pull the fuck up.
For the fuck up. But anyway, when you live together, it's kind of like a different animal. You have to get used to each other's routine. Like, stay out of my bathroom when I'm trying to get ready. Don't take a half hour shower when you
Oh,
know I take a 10-minute shower and use my hot water. Don't be that extra, dude. Don't be that extra. Because that will piss me off. Just like it'll piss him off if I'm in the bathroom and he's trying to give himself a haircut in the morning before work or whatever. So that will I'll be like, dude, move over. I gotta pee. I'm cutting my hair. Can't you see I'm busy cutting my hair? I gotta go to work. Okay. Well, there's another bathroom upstairs and I got a bathroom downstairs. So choose a different bathroom. Because I'm busy. Anyway, if that were the case, that's just my example. Maybe.
yeah, he's picking a bad time to cut his hair. I will say that much. Now, normally, if I do cut my hair, it's usually before work. I get up about a half an hour earlier. Ooh, excuse me. And I'll cut my hair, usually because it takes about 25 minutes and then I get in the routine. But
Or I'll say, even if he does cut his hair at night, dude, my bathroom is pristine. Don't fuck up my bathroom. Don't mess up my clean sink.
See,
Because I will be upset if you don't clean it like how I clean. If you don't leave it how you found it, I'm gonna be a little bit perturbed.
that's why I still go to the barber shop. I just like that there, just going there, hanging out with the fellas. Even though I could probably do everything on my own, but it's just something about just the fellowship, or
time, man. Just
yeah,
time.
it's a money killer too. Because these barbers, the prices just went up
Hmm.
outrageously. But that's like with everything, they went up. They living, they gotta eat too. So
Oh, yeah.
And I'll be
No,
like, dude, we got a bathroom upstairs. You can do it upstairs. You got a whole room, a bathroom. Just go. Leave my palace to my palace.
yeah, I can understand how, because I'm anal when it comes to cleaning. That's why I don't allow anyone to clean my own house. Although it doesn't look like that right now because I got paperwork all over the goddamn place, and this place looks like cardboard boxes for scratch and post for my cat. So my house is a little bit of disarray. With that being said, when I do clean, I'm anal about mine. So just like I don't like nobody moving my furniture. I'll,
Oh, I forgot about that. Let me not go move furniture. Oh. Good. Oh, as a matter of fact, I can't believe I broke my oven door. Glass just everywhere.
What are you speaking of which? What are you doing tomorrow?
Let me look at my social calendar. I don't know.
Mm, mm,
I
mm.
might have a date.
That's okay. You
Just
have it.
kidding. I don't have no date. Um, I want to go do the social painting at 6 o'clock. The Van Gogh.
I'll be asleep. You already know that.
Yeah, I already know that. But
See, people. See, there was no debate, no discussion. I just made a statement.
and because I know Herbert that well.
But
But
but that's the larger point. Go ahead. I'll finish that later. Go ahead.
what was I gonna say?
The Van Gogh painting in 6 o'clock
Oh,
in the oven.
yeah, I want to do that social painting. But I mean, at certain times I don't get too mad if he leaves. If he's in a hurry, we got to go to bed. We got to get our groove on. We got to, whatever. I won't get too mad. I won't say nothing. I'll just wipe it up with a paper towel and bring it up later on. Like, hey man, can you address this issue, please? And I'll be sweet about it. I won't say nothing while I'm stewing inside. I just politely not say anything and take my bathroom cleaner, wipe it with a paper towel, and
So
wait
why
till
even
later.
say anything? Because you probably been doing that shit over and over. He's been doing it, so nothing's gonna change. So just
I mean, I have
let that
in the
go.
past, no, in
Let
the
it
past,
go.
I have addressed that issue and they did get better about it. So, and they
They
even, okay,
Yep.
plural. No, I'm joking.
Hmm.
I didn't know you were chiming in. Okay,
That's too easy. That was too easy.
Hmm.
yeah, too easy. Okay, not they.
What's going on, man?
I don't have multiples.
So you say
Anyway, he had to make it a point like, hey, look, I caught my hair and did you see the bathroom? And I was like, what? I didn't I wasn't on that level right then. And I walked into the bathroom. He's like, see, I told you I was listening. Look, the bathroom's clean. I'm like, okay, it's all right. Not my, you know, not how I clean it, but you gave it a good effort. High five.
do you think
You
that
gotta listen sometimes.
living in sin as you are
Woo.
contributes to that? And good evening.
Wait a minute. I didn't say I was living with anybody now.
Then,
Living in sin?
then
Can wait.
living in sin. Then you like now you're not presently, but then do you think that contribute? Oh shit! Did you
Look, if
guys
you're gonna
see
ask
that?
me a question, you gotta focus, dude. You
Sorry,
gotta
sorry.
focus. That's
Did
my
you guys just did you
expectation.
guys
You
just
gotta
see that?
focus.
No.
No,
That
no.
that return, that
Ain't
Seattle
nobody saw
touchdown.
Yeah,
shit.
that's what.
Ain't
No,
nobody saw shit because
so,
we gotta focus here. If you're
no,
gonna
no,
be
no, no. We
asking me
we do,
questions.
but it's rare you see a 90 yard pick pick six. No, while I'm one part joking, that's not my fact. I just okay, yeah, it stopped. Um, I was gonna say is that do you think that when you were living with this person, do you think that because you were living in sin, that maybe that's why he did those things that irritated you?
No, I don't think it was not intentional. It was
Oh, I'm sure it wasn't. I'm just saying.
just his routine. It was just his thing, how he does things.
While you're living in sin.
While
Hmm.
we were living in sin.
Yeah.
That's why I told him, you got a bathroom upstairs, buddy. I got 3 bathrooms in my house. One upstairs, one my bathroom that he had to earn the right to go number 2 in my bathroom.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Oh.
I just realized. I just realized. Not only were you living in sin, but I
He
get
could
that. All
not
right.
use my bathroom to do his number
No,
2.
no, 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 no. You, a man was living with you. This is comical.
This is my house. I own my
But
house.
I'm not. Listen. Salute to you. I was gonna say pat yourself on the back, but whatever women do,
Oh, I'm patting.
prop your boobs, whatever you guys do to pop your collar or whatever. right?
Yep.
But
Pop my boobs. Okay. Gotcha.
but I, a man living with a woman, I'll just say this: you just handing your balls over to a woman. That's what that's the general point I'm saying. A man should
What?
never. I wouldn't care if that man had a studio apartment and he was making decent money or whatever, and you lived in Buckingham Palace. I don't think a man should ever move in with a woman.
Why?
Number one, it upsets the whole dynamic. To be
What
quite frank,
dynamic?
to be quite frank, you can kick him out whenever he wants because it's not his house or what have you. Whenever you get mad, and you'll probably throw that over his head a couple of times when you're mad or what have you. Don't act like you're not one of those women. You all are.
Hold on.
Okay,
Pause. Pause. Right there.
but I wasn't done.
Well, I said pause so I can address what you just said.
Yeah, but I
'Cause
got
by
to
the
come to a
time,
point.
but by the time you're done, I can't reiterate my thoughts.
Okay, no. You
So,
just we're gonna bookmark. I'm gonna help you with a memory skill, right?
okay.
Your
All
first
right.
bookmark. Your first bookmark. Think of the number one and think of your house, right? So think of number one and however your house looks, right? So that's your first point, right? Good little memory technique. All right, cool. But number two, the reason why a man shouldn't move in with a woman is that a woman will never respect a man for moving her in her shit. Sorry, I mean he can be in-house penis as you described to us without asking. You know that this is what you said, not us, whatever, right? I mean,
Wait, when
but
did
you
I say that?
well, you didn't exactly say in-house penis like
So
I said.
now you're putting stuff in my mouth.
Well, I like to
Stuff
get
in your
down.
mouth.
Oh,
Put
wow.
stuff in
Okay,
your
hold on.
Put stuff in your mouth.
See,
You're putting words in my mouth.
See, Dave. We didn't even say anything. This is her. This is her, right? Exactly.
You guys started laughing. I said you guys
No,
were
but
putting things in my mouth. As in putting words in my mouth.
no.
As in putting thoughts in my head, like you
No,
know
you,
what I'm saying.
Don't let the don't walk away from the Freudian slip or whatever. We got you. You know, we just like to, as men, we like to get down to the
As
breast.
much as I would like to say on here, I have to remember
No, you
that
have to
this
be-
is a
it's a
public
public-
platform
Right.
and
I'm
it
not
stays on the internet forever.
Right. I'm not. Yeah. I'm not asking you to get all gory or anything like that. But again, these are your words. But I do like to get down to just like Dave mentioned. I like to get down to the brass tacks of things.
All right, let's go.
No. It was he may be just in-house penis, but you'll never look up to that man. You'll never will. You know, I mean, you may like him, you may be attracted to him, but you'll never look up to that man overall because he's in your house. And you'll say, "But the house was in it was in my generation or in my family for multiple generations. I'm not going to move to them, and that's fine." You know, wait a minute, what the hell is going? See,
Wait,
exactly.
let me
Jadeo.
address some things here.
All right, go ahead.
Sir Tice.
You still got to get over and put that thing in your mouth.
I lost my daggone ear.
The first thought was your house. The second thing was in-house penis because you'll never respect them. So those are just 2 points.
Okay. Sir Tice. Is your name like? Can I have your? Can we know your real name?
You know it. You just said it. Sir Tice.
Sir Tice. Is that your government name?
No.
No.
But my last.
That's what I was asking. Your government name.
But it's Sir, and then Tice is a variation of my last name.
Okay. All right then. Okay, so you're talking to me like I'm all women, but I'm going to talk to you like I'm a unique woman because first of all, I bought my own house with my own money, no financial contributions from any man. Secondly, I have had a man live with me that we did have a long-term relationship, and I wanted to decorate together, not have like stuff that I had in my apartment. You know, I asked, do you want to be part of the process? Because I think that's only fair. Why are you laughing? I'm talking real.
It's like going bra shopping with you or whatever.
I like guys going bra shopping with me too. If you don't like my bras, Herb gonna buy me some new bras that he likes, right? Just saying.
I didn't mean it that way per se. I'm just saying.
Just to make it. I'm saying when you have a domestic partnership, I will ask out of
1 second.
consideration.
1 second. 1 second. Can I vomit for a moment on that word you just said?
No, no, no.
Domestic partner. Go ahead. I'm pouring me a drink.
Okay. So when I'm waiting for him to get himself together.
No, he's
The,
listening.
the cooler is right next door. It's just right here. You can talk. Keep talking.
He's
I
listening.
mean, I kind of like to see somebody's face when I'm addressing them, but
Oh,
that's
he's
my
pouring himself a drink.
That's your
that's
expectations.
my expectation. But
They might be his at the time.
I don't care. Like Herb said, I don't care.
Yeah, but
Anyway,
you got to be in the position.
I'll address the rest of the people.
No, I'm
Okay.
here. Yeah. Go ahead.
And
I was just.
when I have a domestic partnership, I out of common consideration, I think it's only fair for us both to have a say so in how the house is set up, what kind of decor we have. Do you want to have the mattress that I had with my ex? Do you want to buy a new one? Because that's just, one of those expectations.
I hope you don't. I hope you don't include the X part in when
I
you
know,
say
right?
this. I hope you don't.
Well, it's an implied task of a mattress that if I was with somebody for 2.5 years living with me, and then I was single for 5 years, and I get another person, like, so I just think it's only fair out of common consideration for my man. Do you want to make it so you're comfortable in our home as well, or do you want me to decorate? Because if that's the case, if you feel comfortable with whatever I come up with, then you got to live here, and I don't want to hear your yip yapping.
You're a
I
sweetheart.
got this.
You're a
And
sweetheart. You're probably very well intentioned. I think you're kind of missing the point. And just hear me out just
no,
briefly.
I
I
w-
think
I won't like hold that over his head like it's my house. As long as he can help with the financial obligations of running a household, you pay your own bills, I pay my own personal bills, and we meet in the middle.
who pays the taxes?
That's enrolled with the mortgage. So we can both pay the mortgage.
Well, I
And
would
I
think that
don't care if it's like paying rent. Okay, some guys will be like, "Oh, that's just like paying rent." Well, fucking go pay $500 rent somewhere then, and see if how you can get ahead paying $400 or $500 for rent, living in the
uh,
slums,
yeah,
plus
five
all
hundred.
the other expenses.
Yeah, I get
Living with
what you.
me, you get a kind of like a head start on a come up.
Did you guys peep that? Did you guys peep what you just said?
What?
Living with you. At the end of the day, it's
Yes.
your house.
What I was referring to is
No,
living here versus living in an apartment by yourself.
Anita, it's
Well,
okay to say it with your chest. We get it. I'm just making a point in that
I heard what you
it's
said.
always going to be your house.
I said,
And
okay, initially,
no, hear me
yes.
out. You don't need to hold a second. Real talk. You don't know. I'm being serious. I'm not even using any double entendres anymore. Real talk. You don't need to back down over your house at all. It is your house.
No, I
I wish
know, but
I
I
wish
don't
I
want
wish
to.
the hell I wish the hell somebody would tell me how to live in my house, man, woman, my mother, my father, I wish the hell they would. But I think what you're kind of missing here that I really didn't, if I say I didn't get out, whatever, it's all fine, it's a conversation.
No, I haven't been drinking.
No. I
I'm
That's a
I'm
comment. Go ahead.
addressing G
Yeah, no,
Day
that's a comment that
O
was made. Yeah.
Jade. Yeah,
Jade.
and Jade, do you play real tennis or is that just a photo? I'm very curious, as a former tennis player. But shout out to you, brother Jade. But no, what I was gonna say to you, Anita, was this: is that based off the topic of the show, the reason it isn't necessarily the unrealistic standards, although 85% of most westernized women have them or what have you, but
Have
that's
what?
have unrealistic dating standards, whatever, right? But that's baked in the cake. I look at it, right? So I already accept that. What I don't think you guys get, and I'm not trying to be melodramatic or serious here, I'm being dead, but I am being serious, is this, is that because you guys take a laissez-faire approach to relationships, that's what contributes to them. And part of that is this, what we call, there's a reason why the old folks used to call it playing house. That's
Right.
why I like to say living in sin or whatever, because you are, and in effect, playing house, because it's not really going anywhere. It's just for the time being. You're play acting as cousins, as a couple. You're not, you're not working toward anything. You may say it. I'm not, and again, I'm not belittling you because shacking is the norm nowadays. But look at the consistency that's happening nowadays. Most people aren't serious. That's all I'm saying. And I'm kind of a smart ass. Well, I'm a lot of a smart ass. I know whatever, but I like to kind of put it out there, and it makes people like, God damn, well, you'll get used to saying this. He's right. Damn, I hate the way he puts it, though, whatever. So it's kind of like, that's the angle I'm going.
Yeah, I
put
don't
another.
think you're right for me.
Hold on, no. Put another way, Anita. Look at it like this. Let's say you found the man that you were willing to marry. Would you be willing to sell your house and buy one with him, using the money
I
from the sale of your home?
No.
And that's
I
what
would
sometimes
hold on. I would be willing to rent my house for extra
no no no
income.
no 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 no
And
no 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 no
well,
no no
this
no.
is my answer.
Hold,
So
hold
no,
on.
no, 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 no. Hold
It's-
on.
and you've already
Hold
given your
on.
answer. Now you're giving a caveat. We don't
Hold
want
on.
the caveat. That's what Sokrates is talking about.
My
I let
answer is if
let
that
her talk.
makes him comfortable to come together and look for a house together that we are going to co-own. If that makes him happy, that'll make me happy.
Okay, hold on. Let
But
me jump.
to sell the house that I own,
While you still holding on to it.
for income
No, I
income
think,
property.
okay,
Why would I
brothers,
sell it? Why would I sell it when I can keep it as income property and we can have something that fits us together?
I see what you're saying. It's filled with logic, so I'm not going to knock it. You should have that. But what these guys above me are agreeing with me and saying is, I'm going to use a pimp term if you don't mind or whatever. They say you can't be half a hoe. Does that make sense? In other words, you can't. In other words, you can't be half a hoe in the pimp game because that's a very serious game, whatever, right? I like to use extremes for my point. So you're kind of half-assing and tap dancing with your relationship. What the gentlemen are kind of saying, and I'm
No, I
kind of
guess
saying,
I guess y'all gonna have to call me half a hoe then.
no, I'm not calling you half a hoe. I was using that as an example. No, you're half-assing. In other words, you're not fully
I know what
right.
you're saying.
I don't think, and truth be told, Anita, I don't think as your day. I haven't played in years, but I was 12,
We
14,
ain't even
16.
addressing that. Come on, stay with the
Well, no,
topic
he's a
here.
he's a fellow tennis player. We
I don't
gotta
care.
talk or whatever.
We ain't
Yeah,
talking about that. This
but
is
anyways,
this is like
yeah, no, but
we're in the
anyways,
middle
no,
of a
real talk.
conversation. Real
Yeah,
talk.
I do that to piss you off, by the way. But no, in all seriousness, though, that's the problem with these relationships. You gotta peep it. You listen. That's what. Okay, when we were coming up, well, specifically Dave and Herb, we were around the same age.
Yeah.
On TV
I'm
shows,
kind of around the same age.
okay, so if you remember 70s and early 80s TV shows, there was a constant theme called the newlywed blues. We don't even hear that term anymore because people have already lived together, right? But when you a newlywed, you're going through the damn, I don't like the way they sleep, or because you guys are in it to win it, and you gotta figure it out. You just can't get out the pool. Now we've created so many exit strategies.
Yeah.
It's any wonder why relationships. Hell, I sometimes wonder how the kids make it through high school. But then again, But what's your thoughts on that? That we have too many exit strategies, exit strategy. Okay, go ahead.
You know what? I think, okay, so this group, not any particular person, but in this counselor's corner group, it seems like no woman can meet. It's either we're too much or we're too little. So if I'm too much, go find less. But if my expectations are too much for you, then baby, you need to raise your expectations and standards. For me, personally, I like to be financially independent of a man. So if a man, this is one lesson that I learned coming up, you always have your own uh, income. You can always take care of yourself. That way, if anything happens, you're still gonna be okay. You're not gonna be stuck like
Safety net.
Chuck.
Safety net.
Well, yeah, right. I guess if you want to call it that. The other thing, I enjoy domestic partnership. Living together helps understand if it's going to last before you actually make that formal government document or not. To me, it makes more sense. Back in the day, it was a different time period in the world, different economy. So back in the day, it may not have made sense because the family values were different. Today,
Oh, uh-oh.
I think it makes sense to live together before you decide if you guys are like gonna jive.
So we've been doing that. By the way, is the person who said this comment a male or female?
There's nothing wrong with the exit strategy.
Yeah.
That's not like I don't know. I can't see it. It just
Oh
says
yeah, you can't
Christian
see it.
speaking.
Seems like a
I have to
female.
go back and look. Let me see.
Oh. Well, if it's a female, I disagree. But no, I'm not saying it. No, actually, I am. But Anita, no, I'm making a joke here in a sense, and what have you, just to keep things light. We've been doing this whole stacking thing for 45 years, and relationships have gotten worse. So I don't think that it's necessarily. Let me rephrase that. It hasn't helped at all. It was probably a woman who said this about the exit strategy. The difference with that is men are more impacted by marriage than women are on a financial level in most cases. So, and that's people say, why haven't you got married or what have you? There's a personal reason why or what have you. But the overall reason is I'm not married to, I'm not, I wouldn't, well, I'm too old to get married now. But if I were, I'm only getting
I
married
didn't
once.
know there was such a thing as too old to get married.
Yeah, I can get. I'll help you out with that one, Anita. There's nothing that I can't get in marriage that I can't get right now as a single man.
Right.
So it doesn't benefit me. But no, in all seriousness, though, actually, I'm being serious. I'm just saying though
So
that
you're not marriage material.
I don't
Or
even
what
know
you're
what
telling everybody.
when you say domestic partnerships and all this marriage material. Those are terms I don't even. I would actually be one of the greatest husbands in the world, but I don't see a benefit for me getting married right now, especially under these Western paradigms and such. I'd love to just have one person that I would love. I'm not one of those dudes who wants to smash everything moving and things like that. But, like I said, I can get those things, or I can get in general with marriage not being. But by the way, we won't be living together. Thank you to the female who said that. I was just giving you some shit. By the way, that was to this. But no, my original point though, Anita, I don't want to get this to get lost. This half-assing thing that we do. Shout out to my man Doc. Let's see what Doc says. There's a really good channel, brother. Doc, yo. Somehow I've had a bunch of crazy coincidences this weekend, guys. It would be just like a friend who I was thinking of, they called me, or a woman who I said, you know what, I should hit her up, invite her out to football, and she called, so, and lo and behold, this channel that Doc speaks of right here, where he says, ask an old man, I binge watched a ton of his videos, so it's just kind of a crazy coincidence. Back to my point. I'm gonna finish.
Sir Type's got ADHD, man.
No.
Like,
No,
get
no.
back to your
When you're
point for the 8th time, please.
no, when you
Spit it
no,
out.
when you're doing a
Spit
show,
it out.
when you're doing a show, you have to be cognizant of the audience and all the things around or what have you. You know, so you want the audience engaged, you address them. No, back to the original point, and you tried to do that to throw me off, but you never throw me off. This whole Shaka thing has been a miserable, colossal failure, not only for relationships but also for the children. Now, real talk, Anita. Shout out to you for having a house with 3 bathrooms too. Okay, you know that's a hell of an accomplishment. I can understand why you wouldn't want to walk away from that, but also if you're gonna be in a relationship, moving in a dude. I mean, for bum ass, I'm not calling your ex a bum ass dude, but for bum ass dudes, that's a great thing. Most upwardly mobile men, though, do not and will not live with a woman. Okay, because whether you want to call it controlling or not, a man
Pride,
wants to have his
ego.
own shit, right? And by the way, it's okay for a man to have pride, especially if he can demonstrate it. I mean, it's okay. I don't listen. The reason you move together is because you all have a family. Otherwise, what do you really need to live together for? You know, if you say saving bills and all that, does it really work out that way? I used to be a landlord, right? And I can't begin. I legally couldn't do it, but I did not rent to non-married couples. And it was because it always ends bad.
Yeah.
It always ends bad. And then my place gets messed up in the midst of it, you know? And that's why people say, oh, it's great to have income property. Bullshit. I barely broke even in that. I was so happy to get rid of that shit. But anyways, I've kind of given my spiel. I mean,
Well, in this area where I live is kind
Yeah.
of a upscale area, and you can find quality tenants in this area.
no, we're talking
And
about couples.
I heard you. I'm talking about as a landlord. See,
Yeah, but we're talking.
you ain't listening because you're
No,
too
but we're
busy
not.
focused on too many things.
No, we're not. Hold on a second. But that's not really in the
But
theme of
that's
the
what
show.
I was talking about.
I got you.
I was reflecting off your statement.
Yeah,
But
but you assume that you know the place that I rented was like in some slum, right? To point that out.
no, not at all. Not at
Then
all. So
Wilbur.
don't put that thought out there.
So
Okay?
why bring that
I
up?
was I
See, I
said
can play this game.
there's no game. See? Tice wants to play games. I'm not about
I'm not.
games.
I don't play games, but
I said
Y'all funny.
the reason I mentioned that is because I mean it depends on if
in
it's
other words,
bedroom
if you
games
move,
or life games. I don't know.
what you're saying is that if you moved, if you find some dude and you decide to put your house up for rental, your area will attract some quality tenants, right?
Right. And because the reason why I said that is because you said you barely broke even on your
Well,
rental property. So
that
I
was
was not understanding, like, was it in the suburbs or why
doesn't
was it?
matter. No disrespect, that doesn't matter. I'm talking about the scenarios. Like the theory is oh, we're gonna save money. 2 incomes is better than one. We have no children. I don't know if you have children or not or what have you, but you know we have no children or this. And I'm saying that because most people aren't financially disciplined, it rarely ever comes out that way. The
Right.
extra money that they get, they're gonna spend more. They're gonna,
Yeah.
they're gonna, even if they're not materialistic people, they're going to, spend it on things that I don't know.
That's
Get
why it helps for at least one person out of the couple to be financially responsible and know how to make a budget and
everybody says that.
know that okay, we have X amount of dollars. So when you get paid, you pay out first. Whatever you have left over, whatever you spend it on, that's on you, dude.
No,
Don't
we
ask
know
me to
that.
borrow my money.
We know that in theory. What I'm
In
saying is
theory,
that, right, in theory that works fine. Just like everybody knows you shouldn't eat more than XX amount of calories, but
Ooh.
most people are overweight. So if they consciously know these things, why aren't they really implementing them? And it's
Well,
definitely with money. You know what I'm saying? With money, that's something even more enticing than food. Well, to many people it is, but
Yeah.
you
not
know,
me.
okay. But I think you get my general point.
I get your general point. See, it's easy for me to budget. Um, one because I take pride in being financially responsible. Two, I get paid once a month, so it's easy for me to pay out all my bills the first week of the month and budget for the rest of the month and put some stuff aside for a rainy day.
Yeah,
Not
I hate
everybody
it.
knows how to do that though. That's
Yeah,
why when you come together, you got to have those conversations.
yeah, I hated those pay cycles when I had to do that on a contract. As far as those conversations, everybody's going to tell you what you want to hear. Oh yeah, I'm I'm
That's true.
I'm very frugal with my money or whatever, or I'm very disciplined. Who's gonna say, yeah, I half-ass fill up my tank or whatever, and I
If
shop at
somebody's being honest with you, if you know them, you know how they do. That's why you know them enough to be like, okay, dude, you're not financially responsible in this relationship. I am.
Well, I
He
think you
might be
find I
better at
think you
grocery
find that out
shopping.
down the line.
Yeah.
But originally, like Sir Tice was saying, that they're not going to tell you their shortcomings.
Unless
If
you
you
ask me
if you
for,
listen and if you listen and observe, they don't have to tell you.
yeah,
They
but
tell on
Anita,
themselves.
Anita,
yes.
ask every woman, and this person who says they feel sorry for that train of thought, I think they were referring to me as far as basically that I'm so cynical and all these kind of things. I'm pretty sure that that's what they're referring to, and it's not because I'm
Your
cynical or
credit
whatever.
score is only 600.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let me jump in on that. So I've come to the point that credit is often very overrated.
Yeah.
In a sense. Now, let me be clear. If he has, I highly doubt that's the case with you, Doc. But even if that's the case, if he has no major purchases and this and buy things up front, what's the big deal there?
Right.
Now, we all have bought into this whole, oh, you gotta have this 650, 700, 750 score, but that's all because the banks have figured out if we market this, people are going to spend more because it's a status symbol
Yep.
now having a higher credit score, and we'll give them at these financing rates or whatever, and they'll be locked into it. So
Yeah. There's a
there's
game.
they're
There's a
right. There's a game to
financial
it.
gain.
Right.
Okay, I
No,
get it.
but to my original point about basically people lying and you find I won't say lying. Nobody's gonna say, well, I have a lot of good goals, but actually I'm a procrastinating piece of shit. Right.
Yeah, guys
But
have said that.
oh, somebody have said that to you?
Hmm.
Oh wow. Well, at least they were honest on that.
Yeah.
But but again,
I'm not He said I'm not financially responsible as you. I don't have this. I don't have that. My mom gets in the way of relationships. Blah 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 blah.
Is
So
that the current guy you talking to?
he was very transparent about the situation, and it was my choice whether I wanted to accept it or not, and work and navigate as a couple.
how's that coming along?
That's not
For just
that's
that's not for public
that's
discussion. We
not
got
for
it. We got it. We
public
got it. We got
discussion.
we got it. We got it. We got here. I'm not one of those people who poke and prod or whatever, but it was on the table, so I was gonna, hey, I'm gonna at least take a stab at it. Um, I don't think that people at our age and respective age, I mean, here I can be this. I'm all cool with the whole sports smashing or whatever, right? But if
What
you're
is
gonna be in a
sports smashing?
sports smashing is short for fucking. Okay, so let's I'm trying to be
Oh,
nice or
okay.
whatever.
I thought you were
So
okay.
so I'm all cool with the sport smashing, right? But if you're gonna be in a relationship, it better be for more than just because you're lonely and it's better to have somebody than not. The relationships where I'll agree with the most modern women is that it should at least have a purpose. and outside of just piping you down or whatever. It should, there should be something bigger than just that.
Like what? Give us some examples.
A great statement from a great man comes a great example. Okay, one, you all should be
Is
able
that
to
from
help each other.
Aristotle, Socrates?
No. Very simple. From Thucydides. You should be able to help each other elevate themselves, both physically and mentally. Okay. So, for example, I couldn't believe a young lady asked me tonight or what have you. You work out and all this or whatever. I like something. I said, you know what? I was going to come to you and give you a suggestion, but you were one of those people who, you don't work or whatever. And you don't like to work out and all this. And I had to figure out my angle. And they said, well, you never have a problem with saying anything that you normally would like to say. I said, that's a little bit different with you. It is. Those other motherfuckers, I don't care what they say. No. All seriousness, each of you should be helping each other outside of just simple loneliness and all that thing. You can get that from anyone else. There should be something like a kinship. Let's see. Sounds like this lucky guy has a 12-inch personality. That's why she's overlooking his shortcomings.
What is a 12-inch personality?
You don't get that?
No. 12-inch personality.
That's
Shortcomings in other
hilarious.
areas.
You got to get him on the show. This guy's hilarious. I like this guy. Pause. But no, back to what I was saying, though. You guys should be bringing something to each other. So you can't tell your mother, well, he pipes me down very well. It has to be a reason. Wow. He's very erudite in a lot of areas that I wanted to know.
He's very what?
It's just a fancy word for smart. But
I didn't hear what the word was.
Erudite.
Okay.
But he knows a lot about nutrition, and it's helped me. I feel much better, Those are the things. Okay, those are physical things, but it also he knows a lot about I don't want to say this because I don't want to give away my secrets to women or whatever. I want them to come to me for it, and that. But I'll just say this: she should at least, man, she shuts the fuck up. It's great.
Well, that definitely ain't me because I'm very loquacious.
Yeah. To the greater question, I thought you gonna say something. Go ahead, Herb. I'm sorry, David.
Oh no, I was just it just was a lot's been said in this time.
Oh, I get the comment now.
What? The 12
He's
inch.
like 12 inches.
He gets some.
John Deering. It's John Deering.
You understand the banana and the tailbite expression?
No, not gonna acknowledge that. No.
That's the whole Eddie Murphy thing.
It's actually a movie. It's not what you're thinking. Where's your mind? Whatever.
On the same track as Jadeo with his 12-inch personality comment.
Just call him John Deere.
I mean, I get it after a while. I'm a little bit naive, okay, at certain things.
So that may be your reason to hold on to.
That's me holding on to my innocence, okay? I'm a little bit naive sometimes.
Yeah. So on the unrealistic thing, I had a unique comment. This is very simple. It's that what most women say on the internet and what they do in their real lives tend to be very different things. And I'm not saying you need it, but so when they give all this grocery list, lists of things, you can kind of laugh at that. Now some of them actually believe that nonsense that they say, but then you ask them, or you see their baby daddy, and it's completely everything opposite of
well,
what's
they've grown from that. They've learned from that.
When you see their current dude, it's usually very opposite of like damn, I don't know any actors that look like this or whatever, or fit all these things, you know. But again, we all have our wish list of things. Don't get me wrong, but with women, it's almost like not women. With some women, it's like they're not even flexible. I mean, I'm not the tallest guy, right? But I've gotten with plenty of women who like taller guys, or whatever, you know. It was my great awesome personality that was able to break them down, you know. But I'm making the point though is that I think that with all these lists and trying to live for the world versus themselves,
Mhm.
they're missing out a lot of opportunities, and it's them who do it because they're
I
so.
was just thinking about the same thing earlier.
See, we agree on something.
I was getting my milk, heating up my honey bun in the microwave, and I was like, I don't want to live for nobody else. I want to live for me. And I enjoyed that warm honey bun and milk, and it was delicious. And that was my cheat for today.
Honey bun. And
The
your
iced honey
milk.
bun.
Okay.
I was saying, so that was all the so does that mean all the
Not
decadent
my
pleasures?
iced honey bun.
Does that mean all the decadent pleasures of life you're just living for that? Because for women, it's very easy to get a man. It's very, let me rephrase that. It's easy to get somebody. It's very hard to get someone that you respect, that you're also attracted to.
I think
You don't
my
agree with
friend
that? Or?
no, my friends have I was in the army for 12 years. So from 18 to 30 something I was in the army.
Okay.
And my friends always said of a few long-term relationships, that dude ain't the cutest. Like he's one of my guy friends said he's ugmo. Ugly as a motherfucker. Okay. And he was like, "Why are you dating him?" I said, "Well, we have chemistry. He treats me very well, and I find him more attractive than the most attractive guy in the gym that has a shitty personality and has money and is arrogant and prideful and boastful. That don't meet my expectations just because he has all that. And he might have 7 inches, 12 inches, over 8 inches, might be a little bit, I can't mess with everything, but
TMI.
I have my limits.
Mm,
Oh, whatever, TMI.
So basically, what you're saying here, I get what you're saying, and I think you're kind of I'll say it like this again. It's different of when okay, so basically you found someone you respected, but you weren't attracted to them, but you were attracted to their characteristics that they brought, thus you overlooked the surface aspects of them. See what I'm saying?
No, he was attractive in a certain way, just not as attractive as a man that I could get. But attraction is different to everybody.
No, we know that part. But I think we're saying
Physical
the same thing.
attributes, he wasn't as attractive.
Right. That's what I said. So
But
you're
I was
attracted.
attracted to certain.
I just said that. You were attracted to various characteristics about him
I mean,
that
he
made
wasn't
him.
totally ugly. He wasn't the cutest in
No,
the
I'm just
world, but
here. What I tell
he
you
was cute,
gentlemen.
okay? He was
Yeah.
cute.
What I
He
tell
just
you
wasn't
gentlemen.
fine.
What I tell you gentlemen is this. Just there's a reason why inmates get more women than hell, even me. And I'm not by far a ladies' man. But and I
You
just
can
say
tell.
that to say I just say that to say it's because they work out and they exude masculinity, but they're in a situation where they have to have that survival type instinct. And at the end, this is why it's laughable when people talk about masculinity because women love masculinity, even feminists do. They may not say it, but they do.
I would agree. Okay, so what was your point?
That okay? Oh, it was just basically those may not be the most attractive, what you call GQ model types, but those dudes rarely have a problem with women on the outside. So I'm saying, like, with most dudes don't need to really focus on their, when I say their appearance, I'm talking about the classically handsome and all of the other stuff. Focus on having your shit together, and you'll have a plethora of women. As you just mentioned, women make plenty of concessions. If somebody has these traits, easygoing,
Mm.
all those other things, masculine, etc. It's when you get into my territory of being utterly opinionated about things.
I mean, I'm opinionated, but I also like how somebody makes me feel as just a person in general, like I'm important. I value you even as a friend.
So let me ask you this, Anita. So how long does that feeling have to occur? Because a lot of times people
Like
can make you feel
forever.
a certain way, and then it suddenly disappears or it fades.
No, that can't fade. If it fades, we gotta like rewind and figure out why did it fade. We have to have some communication. We have to have some conversations.
That's for you, right?
That's how I would handle it. I would
No, no, no.
question
What I'm
like,
getting at is it's easy. Try to look at it from the perspective of not just yourself. Look at it from I know you don't speak for all women, but I'm just saying
I'm very unique from
most women.
most women, probably because I grew up in adulthood in the military.
Oh, and,
So
and fair point.
I've met a lot of different guys, a lot of different situations, people, cultural cultures, cultural diversity, and I'm a very unique, different kind of person to date because I am very understanding of people's unique situations.
Understood, almost to a fault, I would think. Um,
Mhm.
someone said women love. Um, if I had a son, which is the one regret that I have for what happened, if I had a son, I would say treat people with respect. You get all into this treating like a queen and all this stuff, you're gonna have somebody that's gonna walk all over you. And trust me, I've seen every variation of it. Now, again, I didn't say go disrespect women or anything like that. I said treat them with respect. Be attentive to the needs and things, but all that kissing ass and yeah, you're the good morning, grand rising, my queen. Oh God.
What's wrong with that?
That's crap.
What's wrong? Hold on. What's wrong with that if that's the little one thing you can do in the morning to make her smile before you go to work? Kiss her on the cheek, bring her some coffee in bed, and be like, hey, babe, love you. Have a great day. Here's your coffee. I'm off to work. What
That's
is
not what I
wrong
said.
with
Yeah, that's
that?
different. That's different.
That's definitely not what I said. I
I,
said, okay,
I'll I'll answer that though.
yeah, go ahead. And by the way, just before you answer,
Mhm.
I was speaking of a person like when you're married, that's a whole different set of circumstances. What you're kind of described. Remember, I don't do the whole playhouse thing. I was saying like people, good morning, grand rising queen, or whatever, and you can go ahead and like,
But who cares if that was what make her happy? If that's what makes my man happy, say, "Good morning, my king. I love you. Have a great day. Do you need me to make your coffee while you're while you're taking your number 2 in the morning? I will get up and do that and go back to sleep."
go ahead, Herb.
What happens if he doesn't do that?
If he doesn't do what?
The text, good morning, all the other ancillary things.
Yeah, probably then maybe he doesn't know that's what makes my brain feel good in the
I'm just asking.
morning.
What if he doesn't do it? Is there going to be a problem? What if he repeatedly
there's
doesn't do it?
there's gonna be a conversation. It's not gonna be a conflict. Okay, so here's where a lot of guys go wrong.
Oh
Just
God.
because you have a discussion doesn't mean it's an argument. It's a discussion. It doesn't need to be an argument. It doesn't need to be drama and dramatic. As long as you get my point and I get your point, and we come to agree or disagree, or like me and Herb do a lot of times, agree to disagree,
You do all
then
that rant. Oh, go ahead.
what is the issue with, okay, well, sweetheart, I didn't know that's how you like to be treated. I didn't know, I could do something that simple as bring you a cup of coffee and, you know, but if he doesn't want to do it, I would ask him, like, why would you have a problem doing something so simple that would make me smile?
Because
Because
you can do it because it's so simple.
because if he wanted me to do something that made him smile, I really wouldn't have a problem.
He's not
Like,
going to ask you to do it.
some things he don't have to ask me to do at 4 o'clock in the morning.
No, no, no. You're missing the point.
No, I'm
You're
just
saying,
stating a fact.
I know, I understand that. What I'm saying is this:
Talk about the 4 o'clock in the morning thing. That's gonna make him rise and shine.
I have no idea because at 4 o'clock in the morning I'm at work, so I have no idea what the hell that means.
Okay.
And at 4 o'clock in
Well,
the morning, I've been at work for the last
maybe
25 years.
maybe
So I
Sir
have
Tice
no idea.
does. He's over there grinning. I don't know if it's because he's watching the game or listening.
No, the game's
I don't
over.
know
I
if
know
David's
exactly.
sleeping. David's
I know
No, I
sleeping
just
over
got
exactly.
my
here.
eyes closed.
I
I
know
just got my eyes
exactly.
closed.
I know exactly what you're saying. I just think that, and that's all fine. Here, my thing is this: relationships. Here's the thing that people don't guard against or talk that they definitely don't talk about. All that stuff is great when the relationships are new and all this stuff.
Right.
Okay, what happens year 3, year 5, year 6 when all the tricks are all the tricks have been done or whatever. And I'm trying to be PC here, so
You have
just
to
stick with.
find ways to keep it alive.
I'm not
You
saying you
have
don't.
to come
I'm not.
back to it and be like,
I'm not saying
let's.
you don't, and I agree. I actually agree with you. No, in all seriousness, I do agree with you. I just think that we constantly focus too much on the physical actions. Okay, when I say physical actions, I'm not just talking about your mouth skills or things like that or whatever. I'm literally talking about. We talk about, oh, you got to say this, queen. No, I'm trying to put you on some game. We don't talk about the things that really sustain and keep a relationship going, and this is
Like
why.
what?
And to lighten it up, back to your early thing, the reason why you don't do all that good morning queen and all that other bullshit is that you let that simp who says all that shit does it, because guarantee you, you probably got some dude who piping her down who doesn't say any of that shit.
Okay,
Okay,
so what if that's not the situation and he's telling me, "Good morning, my queen. I love you. Here's your coffee. I'm off to work."
it sounds okay.
Why
Okay,
is
listen.
that? Why is
There's
that
not a problem.
considered a
I don't have a
simp?
problem. No, that's not a
Well,
simp. That's not a simp. That's not a simp.
okay, because I
I'm
don't
talking
understand when you guys think
what's simpish is
it's
all that grand
simping.
rising, the queen mother goddess, calling you all this unrealistic shit where you're like, I'm none of that shit. I'm a
I'm all
lazy
of that
I
shit.
I'm a
I
lazy
am.
bitch.
I am
Why
all
does
of that shit.
this is one reason why women are disgusted by nice guys or whatever,
I'm not
or
disgusted
just
by nice guys
well,
because I'm
because
all of that
they're
shit.
like no because they're
No,
like
I'm all of that shit.
I'm a I'm a bitch. Why does he see me this way? Damn, this guy's a fucking. Well, I could maybe get this guy to pay me this year or whatever, and those dudes are getting off on doing what they consider the nice thing to do, and they think, "Ooh, one day she's gonna let me bend her over or whatever." Meantime, there's some dude who's doing absolutely positively none of that shit. and and I'm one of those people. I go where the results are. I do what works.
Yeah,
And go ahead.
and I think that's why you have to have a balance, whatever. When you doing trying to be too nice and doing too much, whatever, kind of get stepped on. But when you freaking kind of throw them off, whatever, and you have a nice balance. Like, listen, you're not gonna pull this shit. You're not gonna be able to do this. You're gonna get respected more.
That's why I'm
So,
not financially dependent on no man
I ain't even
financially
talking about
supporting me.
financially. It's just emotionally,
I
whatever.
am
Just
though.
regular day to day
I am. You know
conversations.
why? Because a man that thinks they can control you by having all the power in the relationship, having your finances, having more money than you, and paying and helping you, they think they can treat you however. Well, that's been one of my
Let me
experiences in the
give you a little bit of street game that you not pervy to. There's men out here who are controlling women who have nothing.
Nothing. Melvin. Been
Melvin.
controlling shit.
They are controlling women who are worth a penny, a
Why?
pretty penny. Huh?
Why?
Why or how?
Both.
Why? Because they have the ability. Two, because they have the ability. Read between the lines.
Yeah, this whole
Tom,
thing about men controlling things. I just want to jump in because you hear this. You're kind of talking about conventional wisdom.
yeah.
I think that, okay, for example, I don't like to talk about my personal finances or whatever, but I've done pretty well or what have you, and I don't give anybody shit. Okay, so what I make is completely irrelevant to you because I damn sure won't be paying any more. The fact it's funny. I was watching the football yesterday, and this young lady. Actually, I need to hit her up too. But she said, "Hey," she showed the bill, and she was actually joking. She said, "Oh, is this how those Miami girls do you?" And I'm like, "What are you handing me that bill for, or whatever, right?" And she said, "Oh no," she said, "Oh, you thought I was serious about that?" And I'm like, "It didn't matter whether you were serious or joking. I wasn't gonna fuck with that shit or whatever." And she's like, "Oh." I just, she had said something. She basically like, I gave you my number or this, whatever. And I'm like, so what does that mean? My point though is that I don't wouldn't care if it's a bill. I'm not setting a precedent like that for somebody. And I'm not a cheap guy by any stretch or whatever. But just because and by the way, some guys use their money to do that. Some guys don't. I think that women, especially nowadays, when you hear all the crap that women talk on social media, hey, you're the breadwinner, you're the boss, you go handle that shit. You
Right.
know, you pay for that dinner, you pay for these things. And people say, oh, she would probably just walk off the date. I'll say this: the guys who aren't afraid of that, they're the ones who thrive more. In that. Like, okay, you can walk out, that's fine, or whatever. All you're gonna fucking do, all you're gonna do, is go be mad and run on social media. That's all.
Who?
A woman who would, I can't believe a guy said that he wanted me to pay. Those things. My point is that many men aren't trying to use money to control you. They may do that for hood rats, thoughts, strippers, women who act like they're gold diggers. They may do that with them because they realize that's how they roll or whatever, right? But those women also who do that, they will tell you the glamorous stuff. I took off my watch, but they'll show you all the good stuff they get. What they will never tell you is what they have to do to
To
keep
get
that money coming in. Why are you shaking your head? I'm just telling you the real.
Wait, what you said what a woman has to do to keep that?
I'm talking about a woman who's with a guy strictly for his money and things like that. When you say guys use money to manipulate women in this, and I'm saying like right now, you would agree that we literally have 20-something-year-old chicks who talking about they have a sugar daddy here and there, right? And they brag about it, right? You may not know this, but I'm saying this is a trend. You have 23. Hell, there's websites about it. And what I'm telling you is they're going to tell you the glamorous things. They're not going to tell you all that they have to do to keep that sponsor coming in. And what they definitely won't tell you is how they're washed off to the side.
I mean, I'm saying when you're boyfriend and girlfriend. Like,
Eh,
I don't want a man to say like, oh, you're poor, you don't have no money, so if I leave you, what are you going to have? Nothing.
So I
That's
got
why
that.
I like to be financially independent on my own and
I would
not
like to
rely
think.
have to rely on a man for
I don't even
anything.
think, with all due respect, you've had a 12 plus year military career, and thank you for your service. I don't say that in a
Thank you.
patronizing way. I'm dead serious about that, so thank you. But that shouldn't even come across your mind. I mean, you're not the type of person. I'm speaking in general. You're not the type of person that wants to rely on a man for whatever. There are some people they
No.
actually need that, because they're now they don't really have any real skills and they don't want to get out and work.
Well, growing up in the city I grew up, I saw a lot of that. Um, and it wasn't, you know,
Pretty.
wasn't pretty. Didn't end up well for the kids.
Well,
So
you're
it
talking
taught
So
you to do
so
better.
that was a life lesson that I observed, that I wanted to be financially independent of anybody else.
and that's I think in all seriousness, that's what came out. If you can say if it's one good thing in second wave feminism that happened, it's that. Unfortunately, that changed the dynamics because now corporate execs said, wait a minute, women were making the household decisions with the money, but now they got their own money. Let's target more towards them. You see what I'm saying? And it's given this artificial sense of power. And it's again, I would prefer women to work. Now if they have children, that's a whole different story. But we're not talking about that. But you were mainly what got us on this sidetrack was you were talking about how certain men use their money, to control women. I was saying that the real situation where they control them is basically they're with sluts, for lack of a better term.
Well, I wasn't talking about that situation.
Okay, no, I'm saying the type of guys that you were saying that use their money to control women. Those women are typically sluts.
Well, I wasn't saying that situation though. I wasn't referring to that
Oh,
to
you were saying,
sluts at all.
but even okay for those who choose to get into a relationship with a guy who controls the purse strings, those women, especially in 2023, to me aren't the brightest people because they've already had a daddy, God for or hopefully they did or whatever. Why would they want to go? I would think that most adults, just as far as being adult, want to be able. That's the reason why we work, why we study harder, so we can get a better job, so we can get what we want. Men and women, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's my point. But I think that it's funny in these discussions. I need to find somebody, Dave, but I don't know anybody who has the patience to come online. I've always said men should only listen to three types of women.
And what's that?
Okay, bartenders,
Mm.
divorce attorneys,
We heard those two already.
and sex workers.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
we've heard those.
Mm.
Those are the only women that are going to give you the truth about relationships. Everybody else is speaking from an ideal perspective. No disrespect to you or whatever, but they're speaking from an ideal perspective. Those
Yeah,
people.
I've been in a couple different types of relationships.
No,
So
but I'm saying,
I think I'm well, one, I'm culturally. Herbert, wake up! I hear you snoring.
No.
See, I always know when Herbert's sleeping.
Mm.
Um, I've been
Sound
in a
like
lot of
something else too.
culturally different relationships and just different stages of my life where I thought I wanted this, but then I grew into a different stage and I was like, I want something else. So I've been in different kinds of relationships with all different types
So,
of guys.
so Anita, is it possible for you to say that they're putting me on some game? I'm learning something instead of seem like you always on the defensive and think like you have all the solutions to different relationships,
No,
and you may not.
I don't have all the solutions. I definitely do not. I'm saying I could learn probably a lot from all three of those people. I'm saying I've been in certain situations where I've learned a lot from the situation I was already in.
As it
It-
relate again, I'm not being contentious. As it relates with you,
Right.
right? Whereas with most guys, we're speaking from you're a woman again. It's easy
I'm a
for a
100%
woman.
born woman. Yes.
Right. I'm glad you at least said that because
Naturally born
any
woman.
anybody that would say any that there's more than two genders, I don't care how good she looks. I'm not fucking with her or whatever, right? Not that's like we're from two different worlds. They say that, and that tells me that that they're phony, also that they're just trying to fit in. But I was talking about from many men think that if they listen to women, that it will help them, and they should be nice and say this and not poke the bear, if you will, for lack of a better term. Whereas I say women are always going to tell you things from an ideal perspective. Men will generally tell you from a real perspective. Those three occupations of women, they have to, okay, except for the divorce attorney who hears all the negative carnage stories, who has it, those other people have to, one, shut up, but they deal with men and they see a variety of men in different stages. So they're getting, you know, let, I used to know a hooker. I wish I knew what happened to her, and I've never hired a hooker in my life. Whatever, right? I knew her from the bar I went to. Right, this was years ago. Whatever.
You don't have to defend yourself.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. No. I want it very clear. Like I've never paid for the service for a hooker, but we would sit down and have conversations. I swear she would shatter my effing brain, with the stories that she would tell or give her perspective. And she wasn't educated. Let me rephrase that. She wasn't formally educated. She didn't have all these theories, but she knew how to read guys like a book because she had to. Hell, her life is on the fucking line or whatever. And she dealt with a variety of guys, and she knew how to, I hate this term, but I'll say it. She knew how to kind of code switch between certain guys. And she dealt with more working class, high end guys, or what have you. She wouldn't just deal with street guys, and she didn't deal with the nefarious drug dealers and things like that. That was something that she stayed away because her thing was she's gonna find out where you work. Okay, so and her whole angle was if she ever needs to, she can put you on blast. And it was a pretty slick angle that she had. Now she was, and she admitted she was mentally messed up, but she knew she's like, oh, she likes you, and I'm like, her? Are you kidding me? How you women love to look. You can women can do very much like look at a guy that they're attracted to, and the guy will have no clue. Right? It's like it's a master skill you guys have learned. And she would, but outside of just those little surface things, she would be able to read up the guard. I was like, oh, it's like, yeah, he's up to no good or whatever. And I'm like, he's got the suit and tie. He said, that's just part of the act. And I'm like, how do you know this or whatever? Well, I know how. Question. So was she a slut? She's a whore. What do you expect? I mean, I should say, what do you expect? I mean, she's a whore. What do you think? I mean, come on. Yeah, I mean, she smashes for money. Of course she is. That's funny. But no, I'm just giving you ideas of because of her intuition and dealing with lots of people. That's one reason that they know. Whereas most people are afraid to go up to strangers, let alone be able to assess them and be damn good and they're damn close in their assessment. You know what I'm saying? So you can learn, like Smokey says, or does he say, who says you can learn a lot from a dummy? Damn it, I forget or whatever. But you got
that was the seatbelt commercial.
Thank you. Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Crash dummies.
Exactly. Yeah, so you can learn a lot from now. Mind you, we're talking 10, 15 years ago, but I've always loved watching conventional wisdom get flipped upside down, and that's how that was our intrigue. Our little conversation. Like I said, I wish I had the information. Hopefully she's not dead.
There, I think a lot of what Sir Tyson's saying, people don't realize wisdom comes from a variety of different sources, and often because of what people do and what they don't have in terms of formal education, a lot of people dismiss them, and that's to
Hmm.
their own peril.
They would rather deal with something. Let me rephrase that. They think people from academic formal backgrounds are much easier to deal with than read, because people from these backgrounds, generally speaking, oh, I went here, I went there, whatever. They think they're smarter than everybody else.
Mhm.
Whereas again, when you're on those streets, well, she's not a streetwalker, but you get what I'm getting at. But when you're on those streets and you got to make quick ass lightning decisions, I mean, she would tell me things about judges, and I'm like, this is insane.
Why do you think Judge Joe Brown knows so much?
Man, that man is fucking brilliant. Yeah, but you're right. You're right. You're gonna make me watch. You're gonna make me actually watch some of his things. But I
Man,
think that I can
I
close if you
love
want.
him. He came from the streets of Detroit.
No, that would be Judge Mathis.
Oh yeah, Judge Mathis. My bad.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
love
yeah,
him.
yeah. Even though he's from my hometown, he's too much of a. I think he's bought and paid for. If you want my personal opinion, I'll just say
Hmm.
that he's peddling a message that I'm like, okay, they got him bought and paid for.
mm,
Um,
Where's Judge Matthews from?
Judge,
Detroit.
Chicago.
no, no, no,
No, he's
no.
from
Judge
Detroit.
Mathis from Detroit. Judge Joe
No, Judge
Brown.
Brown
Yeah,
from
Judge
Oh, I
Joe
don't.
Brown is
Chicago.
from L.A.
Oh.
and
That's
came
right. Yeah.
and right now he's running for mayor of Memphis in the '70s. He's on the YouTube channel regularly. He's told a lot of truth. There's something I was going to say just as wrapping it up. Oh, I think, and this goes with what Herb said. The crazy thing about life is when you open yourself up, that conventional wisdom can be knocked on its head. You then start getting a pouring of information. And it's like, let me drop something on you real quick. Like right now in sport, in the entertainment slash sports world, you got all these people talking about Travis Kelsey and whatever that chick's name is,
Yeah.
Taylor
Taylor
Swift, right?
Swift.
And I'm like, these people can't see that this is nothing but an arranged marriage or an arranged dating thing
Yeah.
for interest.
Yeah.
They can't see it. It's way too obvious. And it's all timed with football season and all this stuff or whatever, right? Now, when I could get into more details and why. A person who's willing to suspend their doubt, oh, you're just hating because you don't like entertainer celebrity couples. A person who will suspend that, and if they open up their mind and start looking for all the signs, it'll become more prevalent. Again, I'm just using something that's in mass media. I
Yeah.
can say, you flip conventional wisdom on its head. Many women sucking fug their way in a company. Doesn't mean all, but to act like that doesn't happen is completely laughable. There are some guys. I knew one dude who was a male gigolo, something I would never ask what y'all think a man should be, but I'm not going to deny it doesn't exist. And they do very well, but they won't tell you also the flip side of the things they have to do. But again, this is all conventional wisdom. These are occupations that aren't in your choose an occupation you want to be, Jimmy. I like to be a gigolo. But these things do exist.
Hmm.
Yeah, neither. You was like, man, I didn't know I was going to get hit with all of this behind expectations and standards.
No, I'm listening. I have
Yeah.
my own expectation and standards.
Yeah, and you're gonna live with it at the end of the day. But the only thing is for us to have, you have these conversations, and maybe people may adjust or think about it in a different way from listening to different perspectives. That's all we
That's
can ask
right.
for.
That's right. Oh.
Yeah, too many people are too real talk. Most people have a comfort zone, even me. Most people don't want to go away from that comfort zone.
A
These
comfort
lies
zone with what?
with how they think. So me, I'm not gonna say me because that's not a good example. But if I tell a woman, "Hey, okay, I'll give you a simple one. Women spend more time online complaining about men than doing something about it. Can we generally agree with that? Just as my general premise. You don't think women complain online? Okay, that's fine. The brother, that's my point. Whereas if a woman this summer, as it's coming to football season, says, you know what, I'm going to try to present the best me possible. I want to attract more than just the dusty guys that approach me or whatever, right? So she puts a little effort, whether it's physical, mental, in her approach, and boom, okay, she does that. I'm like, wow, Teresa, you've done a lot. All right, let's go to a football bar. I don't know. She's like, I don't know anything about football, nor do I care. Teresa, you go where the men are. Okay. And she does. She does the extra credit in learning something about the game. And she plays the dumb damsel in distress to a guy, and she will have suitors all around.
Mhm.
Because it's like, wow, one, she's talking about something that somebody else is interested in, and then also she knows a little, and then no, it could also exercise and wow, tell me more. But most women don't want to do the work. They want to. They want to go out looking whatever way they look when they go to the grocery store, and then they come straight home. And in between that, they're supposed to meet this magnificent person. Okay, unless you get in an auto accident, it ain't gonna happen because you're
Pretty
not.
much.
Yeah, I was like, you're not putting yourself in the situation to even come across.
Uh-huh.
And then they'll complain about online dating or social media. Well, you're not even going into groups where you could meet the person that you would want or what have you. You're going in with other cackling hens. Good luck with that. All right.
Ooh,
Ooh, ooh,
a
ooh.
lot of fire, a lot of
Wow,
fire.
wow. Now
We
that's a
can't
hell of a
watch
statement.
it.
What's that?
No,
Even though we're my
Jade, that's a hell of a statement. I'm gonna read this one. He says, "Newsflash: Modern men have graduated from chivalry, just as modern women have graduated from traditional marriage." Shout out Tia Mari. That's a hell of a statement.
Mm.
Is she gay now?
No, what he's saying is this.
I know she got divorced,
Not that's it's not
right?
so much it's not so much the divorce, it's the reasons why. She wanted to live the life of a single woman, which means she came from under the covering of a man who had her covered in every way a lot of women want to be. So she could be back out there living the single life only to discover that it's not what she thought it was going to be. Similar to what Steph Curry's wife is trying to do. Now, there's some things that are potentially going on with the Currys that I will get into, but a lot of women are discovering that what they thought about being single, the whole Sex in the City thing, isn't glamorous. They have to deal with shysters, they have to deal with Melvins, they have to deal with guys who are just targeting just for sex, and that's it.
Hmm.
All that glam, all that having to keep up a home, which is what Sir Tice was talking about earlier, having to keep up a home, the finances, the maintenance is not what women were designed for long term. And this is part of the expectations that a lot of women have that they will claim that they don't have. So when a man talks about going 50-50 or any iteration of that, they say, well, you're not a man. You're not a real man. Well, wait a minute. You were talking about going 50-50. So what is it? Either you want a man to do everything for you or you don't.
Exactly. Do you think that? Do you think? Do you think that? And I agree with everything you said. Um, I didn't realize your hat had the blue in it. I like that.
Who that? Tell me.
Yours, yeah, I didn't see the top part of it. Yeah, yeah, no. That was a nice one. What have you? Let me ask you this. This is for you and you. Do you think that there are certain men that can read women better than other men?
Yes.
Okay. You ever encountered those guys?
Yes.
Okay. I had to tie into this. Okay. Oh, did those guys have? Were those guys what you would call classically handsome, or was it because they could read situations better that made them stand out? Let me rephrase this. Many people navigate life thinking, "Oh, they're not buff, they're not in shape, they're not classically handsome," and I'm like, that's a horrible way to think. Don't get me wrong. I think those things help you out a lot, and I would encourage all men to work out and things like that. But I'm telling those guys, most of the guys who I know who have been great with women, they've not had any of those things, including a career.
You're right.
See there. Okay, so what is from your perspective, and there's a reason why I brought this up. It was something Herb said that I can't when we were talking about Tia and Tamara. Oh man, it was something that was triggering this. They have to deal with pookies and homosexual. Welcome to the real life on the streets of here.
What's homosexuals?
It's the same as a pookie. You know
What's
what a hobo?
pookie?
You know what a hobo is, right? A bum, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so obviously we know the term heterosexual.
Okay.
So they replaced hobo, basically a Madden playing dude who just stays at home and lays pipe.
Melvin.
Okay, you call him a Melvin, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, and a pookie is the same thing. But women, many women, especially young, well, they say younger women. I'm gonna disagree. I see many because every woman will tell you even if they're not in a relationship, they all got Richard on standby. And when I say Richard, think of what's short for Richard. They all got Richard on standby. Press 9 in case of emergency. Everyone will tell you that. Meantime, the sex toy industry is a $14 billion industry. I highly doubt that men are buying the majority of those things. So that's why I'm saying I don't totally buy the Richard on standby thing, But back to the point of no. Back to the point. You don't have to think about your equipment and all those things. I didn't even bring that. I'm just saying I was just countering that or whatever.
I mean, the real thing is always better.
Of course it is, but many people don't. But even before I get into that, I was saying, I'd be very curious from your observation. What was it those dudes who are snake charmers have? I'll call them that the other guys lack. And I'm not saying you're into the snake charmers. I'm saying the guys who know how to read those things. What is it that you think they have that makes them thrive and be seen versus even well-intentioned guys?
Charisma.
Yeah. Can you
personality? Charming.
Clarify the charming part. I get all the other things, and I'm saying it from your perspective. Like charming is, hello, my dear, or this, or what, or.
Well, knows how to work his angle.
I got you. That's actually a good statement. What happened to the host?
He fell asleep. So it's just me and you. Just me and you.
Yeah.
You know
On that
song?
note,
I like that song.
I didn't realize it was going on midnight, and I gotta write up something. All right, good talking to you guys.
Good talking to you.
Okay, I didn't realize it left that. Okay, no, take care. Feel free if you want to ask something, Herb. I didn't realize David tapped out.
He usually does, but usually it's earlier. Any closing
Oh
statements, anyone?
no.
Nope.
um, don't do the darn it. I was gonna say it. Don't follow conventional wisdom.
Anita?
If you want to see your man every week, make that clear in the beginning. That's all. I'm tired.
Expectations. Unrequited expectations. There's a difference. If you have an expectation, make that known up front. Also, if you don't have an expectation, make that known up front. The difference between the two can literally be the difference between you being stuck in a relationship that is prosperous or one that isn't prosperous. That is entirely up to you. Now, relationships are complicated. People are. So take a little less out of the situation and make it a little less complicated. And communicate what it is that you want, what it is that you will stand for, and what it is that you ain't going to. Me, I'm a football guy. Always have been. Always will be. I'm not going to have my Sundays tinker with. There are certain things I like my women to do. I'm going to do them. And
Mhm.
a
I
lot of
think
people, you know what the door is.
a
And
year
with
and a
that,
half a year and a half into a relationship is a little bit too late to be discussing this is what I expect and this is what you ain't doing and why aren't you doing it if you know I expect it.
Is these the closing comments?
Mhm. You fell
yes.
asleep so we took over.
Also, just step up for a second. Let's move
Yeah,
on.
I did a little bit, but no, I heard a lot of it on what was going on. But again, as far as expectations, you can put expectations out there, but the point is you got to put it out there early, and hopefully the person you talk to, yeah, expectations match each other. Uh, so there's no point to pulling out expectations out your back pocket down the road. If you put it out there from the beginning, they know what they was getting into.
Mhm.
Mhm.
If you hold back and tell them, then that's when you get that organized chaos. So
Mhm.
that's the thing. But it's all about communication, having conversations, and no matter how you put it out there, at the end of the day, you mentioned something earlier about the attachment theories. It's about having conversations all throughout your life. It's just not about your adulthood. It's about having conversations also about your childhood experiences.
That's right. I think a lot of adult relationships don't understand that a lot of how you are has formed from uh traumas in your young life.
And
It's
and and, and we don't always have to put the label trauma, which we know that people have went through. But sometimes it's just experiences. It's just
well, yeah,
experiences,
experiences, yeah.
and you have to talk about those experiences. And a
Like
lot of people don't want to.
right, because when you understand somebody and their experiences, then you can understand where they're coming from, and it gives you a little bit more insight on how to deal with it.
Yeah.
And also, what's it called? Shit, I forgot. Reaction formation. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like a person can decide um how they form their reactions from, like, if your father was an alcoholic, they can form positive or negative to be opposite or like that person, like your father being an alcoholic growing up,
Mm-hmm.
the same or opposite. So that has a lot to do with how you are as an adult, which people don't often talk about.
No, they don't want to talk about it. They want to look at the short term situation. Oh, he got it going on. Well, damn, I always used to like him. He got this, he got that. But then there comes a time that you have to sit down and you have to get to know
And the
each other.
uncomfortable conversation.
Yeah, you have to get to know each other. And that's where shit
Hits the
does it
fan.
pan out.
Mhm.
But
I know that's right.
that's that. And it's been a lot of information thrown out there. It's one of those nights. One of those nights where we about to get the hell out of Dodge.
No, I can talk forever.
I know you could talk. I know why I was extra tired. I was in the classroom dealing with kids today, so
Hey,
that
I had
shit
a
is
lot
extra
going on
draining.
today too. I was on the way to an interview in Buffalo. I swerved, hit the curb, had a flat tire, was an hour late to the interview.
Oh, damn.
Well, I called. Interview went relatively well. So,
You ruining my new car already, see? That's why I'll never give you the keys to my car.
I know, right? Well, you should pump the gas more often. We wouldn't have these problems.
Pump that
It's
gas,
not with
her.
it.
Pump that gas, and you already know. Pump that gas, you get the
I
ass.
didn't say all that.
Closing comments.
I
Pump the
didn't say all that.
gas, could tap that ass.
That didn't come from me.
You were reciting that earlier,
No, I asked a question.
and it
I
was
didn't ask
receipts
for
on
me
that shit.
personally.
You want me to make that to a clip?
No, please don't. I might have a family member watching this. No.
Well, good people, you know how it goes down. These conversations is forever lasting and always building on each other. And it was, as you can see, we've been 3 hours into it and about to close it out and on to the next one. For the people in the counselor's corner, the theme this week is health issues in relationships.
Oh boy.
So all the other stuff y'all posting, I just hold on to it to Friday evening and I unleash all that stuff throughout the weekend. Some of y'all, it's tagged everyone. So y'all get the message, but y'all just want to choose to go another route and keep posting the same old shit. Go with the theme. It's health issues. So that can be multiple things as far as relationships. You just got to be creative and find out different situations and talk about health related issues. That could be anything: overweight, obesity, people with cancer, people who can't function sexually, uh, multiple things. But everything, the centerpiece is health and how that impacts relationships.
Mhm.
And post about that till Friday, and then on the weekends it's all open. Post whatever.
When you coming back to visit home?
I don't know. I can't.
Whew.
It'll be something. It'll be something. I can't. I don't know. Like
When's
going home, it's like it's nothing major. It's just a matter of
when's Two Love having another party?
T love.
I call her Two Love.
You call it T love.
Mhm.
Okay. I don't know. It don't take her much to put something together, but she probably getting ready to head back to work for a long stretch. Then she'll probably be back during the holiday season or something. So it'll be something. But again, I never I don't know if I gave acknowledgement. She's the TBE of throwing a regular house party and turn it into a club.
Mm-hmm.
That's how. That's what she does.
That's how it rolls too.
So whenever she throws one, maybe I got to get on her calendar. We got to have another sip and dip herb
Yeah.
at the spot, whatever. I mean, I don't know. It'll probably wouldn't be at her spot at this time. The weather is it'll be getting cooler, but hey, all you got to say is the word, and she be ready. If she home in the falls, we make it happen. Because I enjoy these live conversations, and
Oh, don't leave me out. I want to sip.
we can be all on the panel somewhere,
I want to
sipping
sip
and
on that
dipping.
green stuff.
Oh, I know how to whip it up.
That stuff had me twisted.
It had you twisted that night, huh? Yeah, it did. That Rasta Tasha that night. That jungle, that juice.
I felt a little boogie in my hips. Oh, yeah.
So y'all don't understand. That's a family thing. My sister always throw functions like her birthday and whoever around that time we have our gatherings, and it's usually become a little community thing.
Hmm. Well, I'm part of the fam now, so
Oh, no
don't
doubt. She
get
had
me.
told me make sure. That's why I reached out to you. She said tell Anita to come. So
Hmm.
that's how we
I'm so
roll.
glad she loved her birthday present, but I think I put the wrong number on there.
Mm,
You told me it
Oh,
was 49, but I think it was 48.
no, she's 49.
Okay, then I put the right number
Yeah,
on
she's
there.
49.
Okay.
Well, good people, we about to get out of here because I got another day. I got to go into the classrooms again. Uh, hey,
Mm.
continue posting in the counselor's corner. Come up with your things. If you have any topics, if you want to be on the panel, let us know. Before that, we out. On to the next one. See y'all next time. We out.
take
Peace.
Peace. Peace and chicken grease.